Good morning, everyone. Welcome. If you're new here, my name is Brian Craig, and we'll be live on the radio in just a couple of minutes. Make sure you subscribe, and everybody like the video, if you don't mind. That helps me out a lot.
Call the Soul Authority today, 954-597-7060.
Steve Kane Radio listeners love Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca.
I went over to a Champagne Automotive, and I got to say that this man is the most fair mechanic I have dealt with in my entire life. We took a car over there that was not being used yet. You know, it belonged to my 90-year-old dad. Everybody I had taken it to before was charging an astronomical amount of money. But when we took it over there, Eddie took a look at it, and I got to say that this man fixed the car. It's running like a charm. Anybody that needs a mechanic, I strongly recommend Eddie, and he is just the best thing that's happened to this family as far as car maintenance goes. It's fixed. Bottom line, it's fixed, and the price was right.
Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca will never do a repair on your car that your car doesn't need. And their prices are low. Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca. Give them a call. 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101.
Here we go. Welcome.
At the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll-free, dial 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's 1-888-GO-KANE-1. And now, here.
All right. Good morning. It's Tuesday, June 1st, 2021. I know it seems like Monday, right? It's kind of Monday. Welcome to the program. Lots happening, lots going on. I was at the Trump boat parade yesterday in Jupiter, and if I met you over there, it was nice to meet you. I met a lot of listeners over there yesterday. We had a great time, and we'll talk about that later on as the show goes on. And man, we're, what Biden is doing today in Tulsa, we're going to talk about, because he's going to talk about income inequality and reparations and everything. We're in a time right now. There's Black Lives Matter is about to fade away. Very short-lived organization. And Black Lives Matter, as we currently know it, is in its final days. The co-founder who had gotten busted owning all this real estate, the founder and leader of a Marxist organization, owns all this expensive real estate all over the place. And there's a couple of new things that have come out with Black Lives Matter that we're going to get into. And I'm also going to talk about, I really didn't want to get into this, but I feel a need to, because people in the media are not getting to the heart of this at all. Biden's going to Tulsa today, and I've got some news for you. This Tulsa issue, that is not something many people in this country know about. I know about it, but very few people do, and there's a reason why. So we have to deal with this business today, because the Democrats are on a mission to try to get back the black voters that left to join the MAGA movement, the Trump train. So the way that they're doing that is causing as much racial division as they possibly can. And if they start talking about racial division and cause racial division, and they're doing it on so many fronts, they figure they can win blacks back to the Democrat Party. That's what this is all about. But I want to talk about some of these things. Now, Black Lives Matter, as I was saying right here at the top, we're in the final days of Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter, as an organization, is going the way of Occupy Wall Street. A lot of these organizations, they come along and they're out there for a while. The Tea Party faded away, but the Tea Party was very vocal and influential for a while. Not that I'm comparing the Tea Party to Black Lives Matter, don't misunderstand me, but a lot of times groups will spring up And that's what everyone's talking about, and then boom, they fade away for whatever reason. Tea Party faded away because the Republican establishment didn't want it, and what the Tea Party became was actually the MAGA movement with Donald Trump coming down the escalator. But Black Lives Matter, they've got a lot of problems, and they're causing a lot of problems. This violence that's been taking place across the country for the last year and a half, and other things that have been going on. And the exposure of the co-founder is a big one. And I want to play you a clip here in a minute of her. It's a clip from 2015 that has just been found. Her name is Patrisse Cullors. This is the one that owned all the houses. And she actually called for the end of Israel. Let me play you the audio. This is the co-founder of Black Lives Matter.
The thing I'll say is Palestine is our generation in South Africa. And if we don't step up boldly and courageously to end the imperialist project that's called Israel, we're doomed.
Okay, so she's called for an end of Israel. And what's going on here, the Democrats are the ones that are behind ending Black Lives Matter. This clip I just played for you is from 2015. All of a sudden it's out there. You know, her talking about ending Israel, which is was an honest comment, and there was applause there. But the Democrats are the ones that are trying to get Black Lives Matter to close down. And the reason they are is because Black Lives Matter, it's not just that they're incredibly radical and there's been violent demonstrations all over this country for the last year and a half that are Black Lives Matter connected, but Black Lives Matter thinks that the Democrat Party is not radical enough. And they're going after Democrats. So the Democrats are out there exposing Black Lives Matter and trying to get the organization shut down because they could no longer control it. That's what happened. The Republicans shut down the Tea Party because they couldn't control it. The Democrats shut down Occupy Wall Street. Occupy Wall Street served a purpose for the Democrats for quite some time. They could no longer control Occupy Wall Street, so Obama had Occupy Wall Street shut down. Black Lives Matter is in a similar situation right now where they're very radical. They're calling out the Democrats. The Democrat Party can no longer control Black Lives Matter, so they're out there. They're the ones behind these leaks because these things are in the media. The media is liberal. All these things like this clip I just played, it's in the media. It wouldn't be in the media, the liberal media, the mainstream media, if the Democrats didn't approve of it. So when we talk about Black Lives Matter approaching closure and dissolving as an organization, it's because the Democrats are trying to shut it down. And you know what? I think they're going to be effective with it. So we're going to talk about this and a whole bunch more. I know it was a long weekend. A lot of crazy things have happened since we last spoke. So we'll keep it open phones today, which is a little unusual. This is the start of the week for us on this Tuesday. We'll keep it open phones today so long as you're relevant to the issues that are going on right now. All right, and our number is toll-free 1-888-GO-KANE 1-888-465-2631. I just want to talk briefly about the Trump boat parade in Jupiter yesterday too, and I made a YouTube video of this. So if you go to my YouTube channel, Brian Craig on YouTube, you can watch my video at the Memorial Day Trump boat parade in Jupiter. I also went by Don Jr. and Kim Guilfoyle's house. It's in the video, which you can see it there. But what was very interesting about it is how many people I met that were from out of town and out of state that came just to Jupiter for the boat parade. Traveled far. I met these three women. They flew here from Missouri. I met other people too from other parts of the state and outside of the state who came just for the boat parade. And as much as the mainstream media want to think that the MAGA movement is fading away, it is stronger than ever. And I noticed something. I've been to a lot of MAGA events, a lot of Trump events, and I noticed at this one, what a bond there was among people. So many people. I mean, a lot of listeners there, but people that didn't know me, that I've never met before, were coming up and striking conversations up. On every topic you can imagine. There's a bond between the MAGA movement that is stronger than any of the other Trump MAGA events I've ever been to. The MAGA movement is stronger than ever. And it's a wonderful thing, because all the MAGA movement wants is to make America great again and keep it great. I know that's controversial to the liberals in the mainstream media, but that's what it's all about. So if you were at that parade yesterday, I'd certainly love to hear from you as well. All right, our number 1-888-GO-CANE-1. I'll take a call or two here in the first segment, then I'll take a break and get into some details on some of these issues we're going to discuss today. Good morning, you're on the radio.
Ron, it's Big C in Paris, Texas.
Hey, Paris, Texas, what's up?
Hey, you do realize you're destroying your part of the party, right?
Oh, okay. Well, then you should be happy.
Why would I be happy?
Oh, okay, you're a big Trump guy. What am I doing to destroy what is my part of the party? You mean the Trump side of the Republican Party?
The Conservative Party.
Oh, what am I doing to destroy it?
By saying that the MAGA is so strong right now, it's actually going down so quick it's unreal.
I was just at a Trump boat parade yesterday with thousands upon thousands of people. So I don't know where was the boat parade for Biden?
No, I don't know where you got that from.
I got it where I was with my eyeballs. I saw it.
You saw it, but did you put it on video?
It's on my YouTube channel, yes.
I watched your video.
Then why did you ask if I put it on video?
It's just like you say you went to Junior's house. You didn't go to his house. You went outside.
Oh, so why did you ask if I had this on video? If you saw the video, I think you're so upset. I think you're so upset that the MAGA movement is so strong that you're incoherent. Where was the boat parade for Biden yesterday?
There shouldn't be one.
Oh, really? There shouldn't be. You mean, so the leader of a party shouldn't have thousands of people who want to turn up to celebrate and honor them?
To celebrate and honor them, not when they do their job. They're just doing their job, right?
Not Biden. Give me an example of something Biden has done that would be doing his job since he's been.
Biden. I can't defend Biden.
Well, what is the purpose of your call? I'm very confused. You seem incoherent.
Incoherent.
Because you're not making sense.
Their party.
No, I'm a Republican. I'm part of the MAGA movement. No, I'm a registered Republican.
Just because you voted Republican and you're registered Republican, does it make you a Republican?
Yeah, that's what makes somebody. Yeah, that's right. What makes you a Republican or a Democrat is how you were registered to vote. Yes. See what I mean? Am I the only one who thinks Big C here seems incoherent?
Well, no, you can say what you want, right? You can ask your...
So what are you trying to do? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to save the Republican Party?
If you could get back on task and start putting out information that actually matters.
Well, if you don't like I'll tell you this, Big C, if Donald Trump, I say good things about Donald Trump every day. If you don't like what I'm doing on the air, excuse me, if you don't like what I'm doing on the air, excuse me, I know you want this call to end, and it will shortly because it's time for a break. So don't worry, you'll be out of your misery in just a moment.
My misery.
I know, because you're a miserable person. I know, I understand. You sound very miserable to me.
Of your show.
If you do not like the program, stop talking and listen. If you do not like the program or the content, watch something else. I'm not here just for you.
You're not here just for me.
No, does that come as a shock to you?
You're a Republican.
If you don't like the content, leave. If you don't, excuse me, if the show is so bad, why are you following it?
The What do you mean the show is so...
You don't like the content. You said the show's irrelevant.
Promote hate?
Am I here to do what?
What's your purpose? Your purpose is to promote hate?
No, my purpose is to... No, I don't... What have I said that's promotion of hate?
And Friday, when you were going off on Steve about him being... or the mold getting to him, I've never heard such...
Oh, now he's trying to divide me and Steve. But Steve and I have been together for over 30 years. Some loser with a fake name out of Paris, Texas, isn't going to cause a divide of us.
Was on the side chat was saying that Steve...
Yeah. Well, I think maybe they were talking about you. See, I'm gonna. By the way, thanks for the call. That call was amazing to me. That was an amazing phone call. And I want to open up the phones to comment on Big C out of Paris, Texas. See what the MAGA boat parade has done? This guy, he sees that thousands of people on Memorial Day, President Trump's not even there. Thousands of people turn out to honor President Trump yesterday, traveling from other states, other cities, other towns to be here and do it, and he's losing his mind. Doesn't like the show, doesn't like the content, then leave. Did you hear the shock in his voice when I told him that this show isn't just for him? Oh my goodness. All right, 18 minutes, actually, not quite 18 minutes, 17 minutes after 6 o'clock in the morning. It's Tuesday. Oh man. We're starting off the week good. The liberals don't sound too well, do they? 1-888-GO-CANE-1, that's our number. It's a toll-free call. 1-888-465-2631. We will take our first break of the month of June and be back with more of your calls right after this. Don't go anywhere.
AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
So you've been told you need a health test. What are you going to have to pay? Health tests can be very expensive. If you go to your doctor's office or one of the big labs, it can cost you hundreds of dollars. Sometimes I haven't had lab tests because of the cost. Then I discovered Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs' goal is to get you all the lab tests you need, save you money, and get you in and out in 15 minutes or less. At Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs, you never need an appointment, no doctor's order, or prescription needed either. You can walk right in and have any of their thousands of lab tests done for just a fraction of the price the big labs or your doctor's office charge. Give them a call, 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood near the Coral Square Mall. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. Private and affordable lab testing. 954-906-5983.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and I'm excited to announce my new product, My Slippers. They took me over 2 years to develop because I didn't want just an ordinary slipper. My slippers are meant to be worn all day long, no matter what you're doing, whether you're inside or outside. My slippers come with an exclusive 3-tier cushioning system that you won't find in any other slipper. It combines 2 layers of foam, including my proprietary My Pillow foam and a patented impact gel made from U.S. soybeans. My 3-tier cushioning system is going to help relieve pressure points, provide that micro support you need for all-day comfort, and help prevent fatigue. Not only that, my slippers are made with high-quality leather and a premium indoor-outdoor sole that make them extremely durable. I personally guarantee they're going to be the most comfortable slippers you'll ever own.
And right now, save 40% off the My Pillow My Slippers when you use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout at MyPillow.com or call 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for
Oh man, incoherent liberal. See, those MAGA boat parades are awesome, aren't they? Oh man. Welcome back, everyone. It's June 1st. I'm Brian Craig. It is 20 minutes after 6 o'clock in the morning, starting the week off well. Okay, so Black Lives Matter is about to just total collapse. I mean, they're about to totally disband as a player organization. And now Biden, he's going to Tulsa. He's going to talk about income disenfranchisement and reparations and everything with the Tulsa race massacre of 100 years ago. Okay, Now, everyone will agree that the Tulsa race massacre was a terrible thing. A lot of people were killed. A lot of businesses were destroyed. And everyone's been talking about it all weekend long. I had no plans on talking about it, but I felt I had to today because Biden's flying there to stir up racial hatred. The Tulsa race massacre is being presented as some stain on America, and it's not a stain on this country. Not that it was a bad thing, but who was really responsible for it? Not this country. The Democrat Party was responsible for it. Let me get through this. I'm going to share everything to you here from Wikipedia, okay? And I think it's important. The reason I share this with you from Wikipedia, it's a liberal source. And the lefties can't say, oh, they can't discredit the source because everybody knows Wikipedia is liberal. So let me give you some background here with everything that had happened. Okay? There was this happened on Memorial Day, 1921. Okay? 19-year-old Dick Rowland, a black shoe shiner employed at a Main Street shine parlor in Tulsa, entered the only elevator of the nearby Drexel building on Main Street to use the top floor restroom, which was restricted to black people because it was a racially segregated place, Tulsa, Oklahoma. He encountered Sarah Page, the 17-year-old white elevator operator on duty. The two likely knew each other, at least by sight, as this building was the only one nearby with a restroom which Rowland had expressed permission to use, and the elevator operated by Page was the only elevator in the building. A clerk at a clothing store on the first floor of the Drexel building heard what sounded like a woman scream and saw a young black man rushing from the building. The clerk went to the elevator, found Page in what he said was a distraught state. Thinking she had been assaulted, he summoned the authorities. Okay, and there was a brief investigation. Police questioned Page. No written account of her statement has ever been found. However, the police determined that what happened between the two teenagers was something less than an assault. The authorities conducted a low-key investigation rather than launching a manhunt for the alleged assailant. Page told the police that Rowland had grabbed her arm, but nothing more, and that she would not press charges. Regardless of whether an assault had occurred, Rowland had reason to be fearful. At the time, such an accusation alone put him at risk of attack by angry mobs of white people. Realizing the gravity of the situation, he fled to his mother's house in the Greenwood neighborhood. On the morning after the incident, a white detective and a black patrolman located Rowland and detained him. They had two black officers on the police force. It goes on and on. He was held in a courthouse. Then a lynch mob came. And the lynch mob was led by the Ku Klux Klan. The Democrat Ku Klux Klan of Tulsa is responsible for the whole thing. The whole thing. The Tulsa Massacre was a terrible thing. We all agree with this. But it was brought to you by the Democrat Party. And if Biden were a decent man, which he's not, he would go there and not apologize for the country, but he would apologize as the leader of the Democrat Party for what the Democrat Party did there. That was, the entire incident in Tulsa was brought to you by the Democrat Ku Klux Klan. It's a fact. Not one Republican was involved in any of this. Well, the black victims were Republicans. But the people committing the massacre that were white were Democrats. And the truth of this story is not getting out there. No one is talking about it. We all think the massacre was a terrible thing. Please don't misunderstand me. But blame is not on America. It's on the Democrat Party that for 100 years terrorized blacks. You know, there was this awful gang shooting in Miami. It's all over the news. And I'm hearing people calling it domestic terrorism. It's not domestic terrorism. It's gangbanger violence in Miami. But the Democrats and the Democrat KKK led a 100-year domestic terror operation in this country against blacks. And this is a part of it. Now, this talk about reparations, I'm hearing a lot of talk about reparations with this incident today. No one in this country is owed reparations. You know, the way that America works is there were some wrongs in this country, no doubt about it, most of them brought by Democrats. If you look at everything, and we're going on this big apology tour for America right now, right? With this Tulsa incident with Biden. You look at all of these stains on America that they want to shame this country over and want America to apologize for. Every one of them is brought to you by Democrats. The Tulsa Massacre, Democrats. Tuskegee experiments, Democrats. Lynching and segregation, Democrats. Slavery, Democrats. Civil War, the Confederates were all Democrats. It was a 100% Democrat government, the Confederate government. I'm sure I've left out many things, but all of the internment of Americans of Japanese descent, the Democrats. Everything that they want us to apologize for was brought to us by the Democrats. Not the country, not the Republicans, the Democrats. And no one will bring this up. Any of these pundits over the weekend I see talking about Tulsa, and today it'll be a big talk because of Biden. None of them will talk about it. None of them will say the truth. You want to talk about a domestic terrorist organization, the 100 years of terror after the Civil War that the Democrats brought on blacks in this country. That's domestic terrorism, including their insurrection of the Civil War. Now, they want to blame the whole country for it, and systematic racism and wealth, all this, because they want to take blame away from the Democrats. See, when they take down these monuments and they rename parks and things like this and schools, every monument they take down is a monument of a Democrat. And what the Democrats are doing is they're rewriting their own history because people are starting to realize, well, wait a minute, those Confederate generals are all Democrats. So if they take them down, people will forget about them and not know that they were Democrats. All right, let's take our break for the bottom of the hour. It's 6:30 in the morning. If you're on hold, stand by. I'll take some calls after the break. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE 1, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. We'll take our break and be right back after this.
Checked the temperature this morning before I left. The high today is going to be
Steve Kane Show.
degrees here in South Florida.
Hold on.
Hot weather, it's already here, and it's only going to get hotter. On the line from Cut My Kilowatts, we have Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. He's going to tell you how he could save you big money on your electric bill.
We're facing the onslaught of summer here, and a lot of people are going to be noticing that, if they haven't noticed already, that their air conditioner is just running non-stop, fighting to keep the house cool. A lot of times the air conditioner can't even keep up.
Steve Kane Show.
You'll have that.
Hold on.
You're set on your house at 74, and you'll look at the thermostat, it'll be at 76 or 77 or even 78.
Yeah.
Even as high as 80. So what we do is cutmykilowatts.com, and we've been doing radium barrier in South Florida for 10 years. I mean, we did Steve Kane's house probably 10 years ago when I first started doing this in South Florida. Radium barrier stops the heat gain in the house, lowers the temperature in the attic 30 to 40 degrees, literally cuts the AC runtime in half, and a lot of money.
Let's explain to people what radiant barrier is. We have known Scott from Cut My Kilowatts for well over a decade. He's with us every summer here on the Steve Kane Show. In the heat of the summer, the attic, how hot does an attic get during the summer, Scott?
It can get, depending on what kind of roof it has, whether it's shingle or tile, shingle being the hottest, 140, 150, you even see 160 degrees.
Yeah, and what that does is that 150, 160 degree heat in your attic makes your ceiling hot, and of course your air conditioning ducts are in your ceiling. It heats.
If you're new here, make sure you subscribe, and everybody in there, like the video if you don't mind.
Causing your electric bill going up, struggling to keep your house cool. So Scott has the radiant barrier. So tell people what radiant barrier is and how it works.
Radiant barrier is like a big aluminum foil tarp. It goes on the underside of the roof deck below the trusses, so there's an air gap so it doesn't damage the roof. And it basically just turns the heat wave that comes down off the roof around and pushes it back up out the roof. So it makes your roof function like a white shingle reflective roof. You know, you see those white roofs on people's houses. They put them on because it cuts their electric bill 25-30%. Same thing with radiant barrier. You put it in on the underside of your roof deck. You know, it's like $1 a square foot, and we even got a special if you spend 2,000 square feet or more, you get an additional $500 off. So I mean, it's very reasonable. It's very affordable. This time of year, you know, you're getting it for half price, plus you're getting additional money off. We also do traditional insulation, and we do ductwork. So we can do like the complete job in your attic, whatever you need up in your attic. Insulation, ductwork, you know, radiant barrier, we can do the whole package.
Now listen,
We do that for a lot of people.
it's getting hot today. It's going to be about 88, 89 degrees here in South Florida. We're not in the hottest heat of the summer yet. We will be soon. And because of that, Scott, he's offering a great discount before it gets
Be back in 1 minute.
because as it gets hotter and hotter, it's more difficult for his crew to work in the attic. Now it's not quite as hot. They can get the work done faster, can spend more time in the attic. I'm going to give you Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. I'm going to give you his website and his number. If you miss this, it's listed at SteveKaneShow.com. First, you can give Scott a call at 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500. Online, cutmykilowatts.com. And again, listed at SteveKaneShow.com. Scott will save you money on your electric bill this and every summer. All right, Scott from Cut My Kilowatts, have a great day. We will talk later in the week.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid
This shirt here, I haven't worn this in a while. It's George Washington, obviously, our first president. And the hat, the MAGA hat, it says Make America on it. I love this shirt. Make America. He can't make America great again because he was actually making America. Oh, man, we are back 33 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. We are back here live June 1st, Tuesday morning. Welcome, welcome. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Yes, you're on the air. What's your name?
My name is Wheezy.
Oh, hey, Wheezy.
I'm just trying to figure out, you really must be kidding about the statement you just made.
Well, pick one of the statements I made that you think I must be kidding about.
You made is that it was Democrats and the KKK.
Correct.
That did that. I'm trying to figure out the bump in your head from the...
Oh, this is interesting. So Wheezy, you're calling in to defend the Klan? You're saying I'm disparaging the Ku Klux Klan?
Let me tell you what I'm calling in to say. And I want you to understand this part. From a black person.
Oh.
No one cares about whether they were Republicans or Democrats.
Oh.
We care more... Oh, can I finish? We care more about the fact that they were white. You always come up with Republican and Democrats. That's the thing. Only person that agrees with you with the Republican or Democrat of the fact that when something was done, we don't care about that part. We know that all the things that has happened to us was happened to us by white people, not Republicans and
does that go back to Africa when the black African tribesmen were capturing and selling fellow Africans to the slave traders? Those were blacks. Those weren't white people. Listen, Tulsa. Do you know what state Tulsa's in?
Oh gosh, Oklahoma.
Okay. Oklahoma was a new state in the early part of the 20th century. The Democrats attempted to make it a completely segregated state. The Republican president at the time, Teddy Roosevelt, stopped that from happening. And what you had in this, this story that led to the massacre, terrible story, but it's not a unique story. These Klan lynch mobs, like in Tulsa, many of them will be a story of a young black man having an encounter with a white woman. And then they use that as an excuse. A lynch mob showed up at the jailhouse to take this young black kid. That was a lynch mob of the Klan. They were Democrats. All of these things...
To me, why all the KKK today are all, mostly all Republicans?
Oh, is that true? Tell me one. Give me the name of the most prominent Klansman today. Give me the name of the most prominent Klansman today, and let's find out.
You?
No, I'm not in the Klan. I think my black daughter wouldn't like that. What kind of Klansman has a black child?
Say about black. Your daughter doesn't mind about all the other things that you say about black.
What I don't say anything that is untrue, and I'm certainly not a racist or a Klansman. That's so stupid. I have a black kid.
That doesn't give you the fact that doesn't let you offer all the racial things that you sit on this radio and say every day.
I don't say anything that's racist.
Oh, yes, you do. You're saying what you're saying right now is racist. We don't care if they're Republicans or Democrats.
Oh, you speak for all black people. You speak for all black people.
From trees.
So you speak from all black people.
White people who hung up from trees. We don't care if they're Republicans or Democrats.
But don't you understand? Listen, Wheezy.
We just see what color they were.
I've taken 2 calls today, both from Democrats that are losing their minds. Wheezy and earlier Big C. Listen. Every black man that was lynched in America was lynched by a Democrat. And every black man that was lynched was a Republican.
Were you there?
Did
you take their cards and look at their cards to see if they were Republican or Democrat? Were you?
Well, yeah, I've actually done research into this and studied it in college.
And got nothing to do with it.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So you were there. You were there then.
And I know they were white. That's the only thing I need.
That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know.
That's all I need to know.
Why? Why is that important?
Because you, I know you're the white person that makes all the racial slurs.
I've not made a racial slur.
These kids, the mold, that was racial.
He's got black mold in his house. I didn't call his kids that. He has a leaky roof. I did not. Wheezy. Come on, Wheezy. He has
black mold.
I did not. Yeah, that was a joke, and I didn't call them black mold.
That's what I'm saying. You thought it was a joke. That wasn't a joke.
That's a stretch. Apparently it was. Made me laugh.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Only to a white person with a racial slur like that.
That is not a racial slur. That was not a racial slur. That was not a racial slur.
Oh, but my joke of calling Trump orange was a racial slur, as far as you...
No, that's not a racial slur either. What you heard from me about that was sarcasm. That you were disparaging the orange people.
To me, you took your face and stuck it in the camera and said, that's a racial slur.
That was sarcasm, Wheezy.
You got mad. You and Steve almost had a heart attack.
No. That was sarcasm. That was humor.
That wasn't humor. You got mad.
No, we were not mad at you. We were being sarcastic.
A week. And then you're going to get stupid Andrea to call in a few minutes and say, oh, Lori is saying such crazy things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's okay for y'all to say whatever you say, but when I say it, it's racial. When you say it, it's a joke.
See, obviously what's happened here is you're getting the real story of what happened in Tulsa, and you don't want to deal with it.
You're getting it mixed up. We don't care if they're Republican or Democrat.
No, it's not, excuse me. You don't speak for black people, you speak for yourself.
White woman. A white woman. They said touched a white woman.
Mm-hmm.
They touched a Republican white woman. They just said touched a white woman. Just like that. So white people killed and burned and took every single thing that the black people had. They killed them.
Mm-hmm.
Slaughtered them. They were all...
Uh-huh.
We don't care about Republican or...
So you speak for all black people now. All right, Wheezy, take care. Now, have you guys noticed, I've taken 2 calls today, both from Democrats, both of them at different levels of incoherent meltdown stage. Have you noticed that today? That very interesting calling, these callers say, very interesting. Good morning, you're on the radio.
Oh, good morning, Brian. It's Andrea.
Oh, right on cue.
Are you stuck?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I am going to go right at Wheezy, because for somebody who calls you a cracker, that's a racial slur. For somebody who teaches her granddaughter to be racially motivated, Wheezy's a racist. But the larger problem than her being a flat-out, full-blown, to-the-wall racist is that she's ignorant.
Mm-hmm.
Ignorant on such a large level. For her to say, it doesn't matter if they're Democrat or Republican. Well, has she ever read a history book?
Well, the reason that she says it doesn't matter is because these terrible things were all done by Democrats. She doesn't want to deal with that, so all of a sudden it doesn't matter. Does it matter what the political affiliation was of the people involved in the Capitol breach? It seems that political affiliation matters to them when it's convenient.
Well, did it matter in Germany what party committed the atrocities? Did it matter in China with the human rights violations? See, that's the ignorance that I'm talking about. That's the ignorance that I can't tolerate it anymore.
Yeah.
How stupid do you have to be to understand that, first of all, the Democratic Party is not, like, they're puppeteering the sheep that follow them.
Yes.
That's what communist dictators do.
Mm-hmm.
People like Wheezy, who fall right into the trap of the propaganda. But I would like to actually sit down with Wheezy and say to her, how has your life improved since Joe Biden has been in the office? Because he is ruining this country. And even if her life isn't impacted yet, because Wheezy's, quote unquote, moved on up, let's see how much of that moving on up money she has left after he taxes.
Well, I don't know how long you've been listening today, but I talked to two Democrats in a row, Big C in the first segment, both of them just incoherent today. What's going on?
You know what's going on, Brian? This is what's going on. The Democrats have played their hand. They've showed that they're the party of racism. They showed that they're the party of segregation. They're trying to segregate people right now, and morons like Wheezy are cheering it on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on, look at this chick from BLM. BLM was the biggest grift, flat-out perpetrator.
Yeah, she's calling for the destruction of Israel. Yeah.
Okay, right. That's
well, no, some may call that anti-Semitism. I call it anti-Semitism, yeah.
But Brian, because it's against whites, so that's okay. You have the Jihad Squad calling for America to defund their allies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, Andre, I appreciate the call. We're going to take our last break of the day. If you're on hold, stand by. Now, I got to tell people, Steve, the work on Steve's house, oh my goodness. I'll talk more about this with Steve later on. He had neglected the leaks in his roof for so long, it not only caused black mold, but other destruction around the house that was uncovered Friday. I'll talk more about this with you, but hurricane season is here. Rainy season is here. You want to call Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting, have a free roof inspection, and make sure that your roof will make it through a tropical storm or a hurricane, because we are in that time of year now. And I got to tell you, talk to Tom Laporta about impact windows. I have impact windows. They're absolutely amazing to have. They're better than shutters, because shutters you can't see out. And it's terrible going through a hurricane and not being able to see out. And when a hurricane comes, those of you that are new to Florida, that have not experienced a hurricane, people ask what a hurricane is like. It's terrifying. And when a hurricane is coming by, it sounds like a freight train is coming by every window of your home for hours and hours and hours. And when you have regular hurricane shutters and you can't see out, it is terrible. When you have impact windows, you can see out during the storm, and it makes the storm go by, I got to tell you, with a lot less fear and anxiety. I was talking a couple weeks ago during our last hurricane. I had two 50-foot ficus trees that were torn out of the ground and fell during the hurricane. And I only knew this because I have the impact windows and could see out that they were going to fall before they fell, because I could see them actually getting lifted out of the ground by the winds. And my big fear, one of them was towards the back of the house where the kitchen is. And during a hurricane, that's where people are always coming in and out of the kitchen. We have a whole house of people because we have all the hurricane protection and a generator and all this business. So people come to our house to ride out the hurricane. And when I saw that the trees were being lifted in the backyard, I was able to keep everyone out of that part of the house and go to the back of the house just in case it fell on the house. It would have gone through. And we wouldn't have even known if it weren't for the impact windows that the trees were going to fall. And when the trees fall and get knocked out of the ground, it is a loud noise, I'm here to tell you, like I've never heard before. It happened twice. And if I just had regular hurricane shutters and not impact glass, it would have been terrifying for me and the entire family. So listen, call Tom Laporta, talk to him about impact windows. You'll be very glad you did. All right, his number, which rings directly to his phone, in his pocket, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602, and online, LaportaContracting.com. When Steve joins us later, we'll talk about how neglecting those little drips on spots, those little wet spots on your ceiling can cause even a lot more damage than you realize, as Steve is finding out. All right, let's go back to our phones. 1-888-GO-KANE-1. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Brian, it's Big C out of...
It's one call per day. One call per day. No, one call per day. Good morning, you're on the radio.
Good morning, Brian, Wisconsin, Gary.
Hey, Gary, what's up?
I'm going to use this example kind of quick. You know how you got a filtration system for your water?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it seems like the Democrats don't have a filtration in the middle of their brain to stop the water to filtrate. It just kind of bypasses, and that's what the narrative they go on, because they don't ever realize what they're really saying. Kamala Harris, you know, for Memorial Day, who cares about batteries, 20 pounds of batteries? You still got to have a battery for a solar panel.
Mm-hmm.
That's an embarrassment, you know, and it's just like wheezy. And maybe some of the other Democrat listeners, they're in that same position. They don't actually think about what Biden's thinking or what the policies that's going on. It's outright ridiculous.
Yeah. You know, and this whole talk, you know, Biden's going to talk today about reparations for people in Tulsa. Pretty much everyone's family has had setbacks over the years, 100 years ago, 50 years ago, 200 years ago. I don't know. The promise of America isn't that you get paid by the government for things that happened to your family in the past. Opportunity is available for all to pursue whatever it is you want to do. I don't get this. I mean, should the Jews be getting reparations from Egypt for the pyramids? Come on.
And, you know, the other thing, you know, like there was a court case that was in California where a park that some black people owned it, and they took it away from them, and now they're giving retributions back to them for that. But, I mean, it's like the other thing you kind of forgot to bring up to tell your listeners is that Democrats didn't want to get rid of slavery back at that time.
In fact, when the Civil War broke out, not one Republican owned a single slave. You know, the Democrats were all the slave owners. The Confederate government was a 100% Democrat government. You know, listen, the Democrat Party, now, the Democrat Party is responsible for the Tulsa Massacre. Republicans were advocating, you know, Oklahoma had just become a state, okay, not too long before that, just a couple years before, and the Republicans were trying to stop, you know, you had all these old Civil War Democrat people still around in Tulsa at the time that did all of this. Now, the Democrats may owe a debt for the Tulsa Massacre, but not the country. The President of the United States at the time was a Republican and tried to stop all this stuff that was going on in Oklahoma.
But the other thing is, too, you know, is if Wheezy's got a phone, which I would imagine everybody's got a phone in the U.S., you can look up the history. It's all right there.
They don't want to know. Don't you understand? They don't want to know. They don't want to know. Don't you get it? They don't want to know.
That's the absolute thing that is just mind-boggling, that Biden will say something, which he didn't say this week, and he was being creepy Joe about some young gal, but then all of a sudden it's like that filter's not working, Brian.
That's right. That's right. All right, Gary, appreciate the call. Take care. Yeah, because he's working, not sitting around. You know, I made a YouTube video on this over the weekend about Kamala Harris, but I want to talk to you guys about it. Kamala Harris dishonored Memorial Day and the fallen, and when she said, "Have a great weekend, long weekend, yay, party all the time," you know. I made a whole YouTube video about this over the weekend, but I want to share it with you guys because it's very important. Why Kamala Harris disrespected Memorial Day, the fallen American servicemen and women, and their families. By saying, have a great weekend, just another weekend to go out and party. Now, first off, every day of the week is a weekend for Kamala Harris because she doesn't work. But aside from that, Kamala Harris grew up in Canada. Her parents divorced, and when she was 7 years old, which is when she first started school, she went to school in Canada. Her mother took her and her sister to Canada. Kamala Harris went to school in Canada from first or second grade all the way through high school graduation, only returned to America for college when she went to Howard University or something. Kamala Harris doesn't even understand what Memorial Day is. She didn't learn about it. She didn't grow up learning about it. You know, those years, 7 to 18, is when you learn about your culture and the country's history and its traditions. And she never got out of school for Memorial Day because they don't have that in Canada. I'm sure she knows all the Canadian holidays. And to sum it up, you know, with this business in Tulsa, Kamala Harris is not, in her heart and her mind, an African American. She's an African Canadian. She grew up in Canada. She was educated in Canada. Her worldview is that of a Canadian. And she doesn't understand basic things about America, like Memorial Day. There's probably other things she doesn't get either about America because she was raised in Canada. And that's why she made such a stupid comment about Memorial Day. Now, she corrected it after she was busted and everything, but she still, that was just going through the motions. She doesn't know what she's talking about. She doesn't understand any of it. And I get so frustrated. I listen to these pundits on the news, and they just don't get it. They don't. I don't know what the purpose of these pundits on TV really is. They never touch on any of the true issues, the true points that I'm bringing up today. Whether it's the Democrats at the Tulsa Massacre or Kamala Harris being raised in Canada. I know some of you may say, "Well, Ted Cruz was born in Canada." This is true, but he was raised in America, and he was brought up as an American in his heart and in his mind. That was one of the problems Obama had, is he spent some of that time as a child going to school in Indonesia. He went to high school in America, but he went to school in Indonesia for a while, and those are important years where you learn to become an American. You learn about our culture, our holidays, what they're about, who we're remembering, etc., etc., etc. And Kamala just didn't understand what Memorial Day... To her, Memorial Day is just a long weekend to go out and party and drink. That's what Memorial Day is to her, right? You know? And she probably, because Obama didn't, when he became president, didn't know the difference between Memorial Day and Veterans Day. If you remember, Obama was speaking at a Memorial Day event when he was first president. It was first or second Memorial Day that he was president. And he was talking about those that we honor on Memorial Day. And he says, "I can see some of you in the crowd." Now, unless he's the sixth sense and is seeing ghosts, he didn't know the difference between Memorial Day and Veterans Day. Memorial Day is for the fallen. Veterans Day is for the living veterans, okay? That's the difference. And Kamala probably doesn't know the difference either. So if you're a Canadian in your heart and in your mind, how can you govern as an American vice president and maybe even a president in the future? God help us. Our number 1-888-GO-CANE 1 888-465-20 6:31. You know, Father's Day is this month. We are 19 days away from the most important day of the year, which is Father's Day. Go to mypillow.com. There's so many great things at mypillow.com for Dad. Do you know, with the promo code KANE at checkout, KANE, at mypillow.com, you can save as much as 66% off the items there? That's right. You know, these MyPillow My Slippers are perfect for Dad. I have them, 40% off with the promo code KANE. When I'm home, I've got them on my feet the whole time. As soon as I get home, I put on my MyPillow slippers, and they're on until I go to sleep at night. They're so comfortable. Oh, man, they're so comfortable. They really are. 40% off with the promo code KANE. Perfect gift for Father's Day with the MyPillow bathrobe. I have the MyPillow bathrobe, too. And by the way, all these things from MyPillow, I have purchased these myself. Okay, sometimes people will message me and say, oh, Mike Lindell sends you all these things. No, he does not. I buy them all. Now, I use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, for all of them and get incredible discounts, and the prices are very, very low. But the MyPillow bathrobe is 30% off with the promo code KANE. The softest, most comfortable bathrobe you will ever wear. There are many other great things there. Save up to 66% off with the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. You can also order by phone, 800-716-4879. 800-716-4879. Good morning.
This is Linda in Fort Lauderdale.
Hey, Linda.
Harris didn't even write that damage control rebuttal. Those were not her words.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You know, she is, I know people think it's a joke when I say she grew up in Canada. She did. From the age of 7 till 18, she went to Canada. She doesn't know what, she never celebrated or honored Memorial. To me, Memorial Day, there were parades. We get out of school. You see it all over the place. You see the guys selling those little red flowers they used to sell all the time, those plastic things. She never saw any of that because she doesn't understand American culture.
As a Girl Scout, I marched in Memorial Day parade.
Exactly. They don't have it in Canada. They probably have something else in Canada for their soldiers that died, but they don't have Memorial Day in America is a big deal. It's a big deal, and she just doesn't get it because she's not an American in her heart and mind. She's a Canadian. That's it. I mean, it's just she doesn't understand. She didn't realize what a stupid comment she was making.
It was a major blooper on her part.
Well, I think it was a revealing moment.
That it was.
And none of these pundits, all weekend long talking about it, touched on what I just shared. Yeah. All right, appreciate the call, Linda. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. We'll take our break for the top of the hour. Come back for hour number 2 of the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. On the radio since 1977. Don't go anywhere.
Got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Attention seniors! Debbie from I Will Advisors has launched I Will Advocates. I Will Advocates.
Michael, $5 super chat. Everyone thank Michael Batty. She's only talking about it because she wants BLM to get noticed.
They'll review your doctor's bills to make sure they are correct. If you're in the hospital and you need an advocate to get the care you need, I Will Advocates, they'll do that too. They'll handle your Medicare and Medicaid applications. And that's just the beginning. They do a lot more too. Give Debbie and her team at I Will Advocates a call right now. 954-345-1214. 954-345-1214. Online, iwilladvocates.com. Never worry about your health care ever again. Let I Will Advocates handle everything for you. 954-345-1214. 954-345-1214. At noon weekdays, turn your radio to Richard Pearl on politics. Unfiltered, unapologetic, always controversial. Richard Pearl tells it like it is. No topic is off limits. This is talk radio like it should be. You've known him as a master of nutraceuticals. Now, listen to Richard Pearl as you've never heard him before. Richard Pearl on politics. High noon weekdays on this radio station. Be there. Did you know that 2 out of 5 Americans suffer from some kind of allergy? So it's likely that fatigue, runny nose, headaches, intestinal problems, and a general lousy feeling can be connected to an allergy. Any lab test now of Boca Raton offer allergy tests that can detect over 125 airborne, food, and environmental allergens. Allergy testing is quick, easy, and painless. Results can be shared with your physician or an allergist. No doctor's order or prescription is necessary. No appointment either. Just walk right in. Any lab test now of Boca Raton is located located at 23016 Sandalfoot Plaza on the east side of 441, just a few doors down from Western Beef. If you have any questions, call 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. Any lab tests now of Boca Raton. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on The Steve Kane Show.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll free, dial 1-888-COCAINE-1. That's 1-888-COCAINE-1. And now...
Oh, man, I'm just reading this story during the break. You won't believe it. Hour number 2 has begun. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. It is Tuesday, June 1st. We are back live from the long Memorial Day weekend. If you missed the first hour, you missed a lot. Oh, my goodness. Listen to this. This is at pjmedia.com. An event to commemorate the 100-year anniversary of the Tulsa Race Massacre was suddenly canceled after 3 surviving victims demanded $1 million to appear and for $50 million to be donated to a reparations fund. Singer John Legend was to host the event with the keynote address given by Stacey Abrams. Other events associated with the commemoration will proceed as scheduled. Joe Biden will be in Tulsa today. Attorneys representing the survivors had originally agreed to a $100,000 appearance fee for each survivor and $2 million in reparations. Then suddenly, attorneys upped the appearance fee to $1 million and seed money for the Reparations Commission demand of $50 million. So they canceled the event. I thought this was about sharing a forgotten thing from history that people need to know about. I thought this was about racial... It sounds like it's a money grab. Oh, my goodness. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Good morning. This is Jerry.
Yes, Jerry.
Hey! It looks like you got a little bit of tan yesterday.
Oh, out in the sun? Yeah. Well, my MAGA hat kept the sun off me a little bit, but I got some sun yesterday.
So you mean Steve's so cheap he can't get you a boat?
No. Who wants a boat? You know the old joke. A boat owner's 2 best days.
I know. 5 of the days sells it.
Correct.
I own a boat in 2021, and if I'd known you were standing out there, I would have picked you butt up.
You don't think I had an opportunity to be on a boat? I had many people offer me a chance to be on a boat.
You afraid of a boat?
No, I'm not afraid of boats. I take a cruise every year on a big one, and I grew up around boats. I just, I just didn't have the time to go out on a boat yesterday.
Okay. Yeah, I seen you standing out there. Listen, so I figured out what the big C stands for, the big clown.
Oh. I thought it was a man who's got a lot of insecurities about the size of their manhood that has to make everyone think that he's packing.
No, I think it's a big clown.
Okay.
Clown.
Did he sound incoherent this morning?
Not at all. No, I mean, like you said, him and Wheezy sounded like they're just on the edge.
No, yeah. All right, take care, man. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Brian. I hope you had a nice weekend in remembrance of our fallen soldiers.
Yes.
Let me say this about the President of the United States and his Tulsa thing. President Obama was the first African-American president. President Biden is the first racial president. Everything from the time he had his speech in Washington when he accepted the job has been about race. He is throwing this in our face on a daily basis. Dignity, respect, and all this other stuff. I mean, it's every speech this guy gives, he throws in this race garbage, and then he starts throwing in the white supremacy and everything else. I mean, this is really an outrageous thing. I sit there and I watch. He can twist everything, and he's like scolding America on every speech. And he represents nothing but disgust. To me, I just can't get over what's going on here. I mean, this Tulsa thing today is another thing. Just pick the scab of the wound and throw it in the face of America. Make white America feel guilty. Make black America feel like victims. This guy is just a total disaster in the White House. His policies, his speeches, he's a divider. Even picking the vice president, he picked her because she had to have been black. Everything about this guy's...
I don't think that's why he picked her, but I don't want to get sidetracked into that. But, you know, now if Biden were going to Tulsa today to apologize for what the Democrats did in Tulsa, I'd respect that. But he wants to blame us for what his party did.
Yeah, but here's another thing. I don't know if you get this. It's not about Democrat and Republican. It's about white against black. That's what he's throwing up. He doesn't care whether they were Democrats. They were white. That's the whole thing. It's a race thing. It's not party. And we keep on saying, well, it was the Democrats did this, and the Democrats were Jim Crow.
That's true.
It says it's the white guy.
It was the Democrats. In fact, you know, this thing in Tulsa, I did a lot of reading over the weekend about what happened in Tulsa, and the Democrats, you know, again, I just said Oklahoma became a state just a couple years before this happened. Okay, it was a new state, and the Republicans were fighting the Democrats every step of the way because the Democrats wanted to form the state and make it a segregated state. The Republican president Teddy Roosevelt stopped it. You know, the Republicans were trying to stop these Democrats every step of the way, but they did what they did, these Democrats. So it's important to point out that the Democrats did this because the Republicans were fighting them every step of the way.
Yeah, it's true. What you said is 100% history, but they're not interested in it.
Well, I'm interested in it. And the thing is with Wheezy, it's not that they're not interested. They want to have their head buried in the sand, and they want to blame all white people for these terrible things. You know, there were white people who were killed in Tulsa defending the black people there. I think there were about 10 white people killed.
Yeah, the Civil War was the same situation. How many white men died to save and end slavery, and yet President Biden. I'm telling you what's going on. I mean, I see it every day. To me, he's the biggest race pimp out there. He's like the white Sharpton running the country.
Yeah. I mean, you know, Kamala Harris said that he was a segregationist in the first Democrat debate. Sounds like he's got some apologizing to do.
He has a lot of apologies. He won't say.
Yeah, don't blame us for your problems, Biden.
Yeah, and let me tell you about dignity and respect. You and I live down here. To see what went on the other day over the holiday, that shooting at the rapper place down in Miami.
Well, let me tell you something. Miami is becoming, it's a gangland down there, run by, you know, in the 80s you had the Cuban drug dealers and all that stuff, all those cocaine cowboys. Now it's black gangs down there. And, I went to South Beach about a year ago. First time I've been there in a while. I won't go back. It's a thug area now, and Miami is being overrun by black gangs, big time.
Do you see what happened at the High Line down there with the guys hanging out of his car, shooting an automatic weapon?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Daylight.
Crazy.
The whole thing is nuts. I wouldn't go to Dade County. I'm trying to stay away from that.
No, I gotta go down to Miami. My wife's doctors are down there. And I got to go down there. I got to go down there actually in a couple weeks. Our first time down there since COVID, you know. And I'm not happy about it because Miami is very, very dangerous, and it's more than just these two guys that dropped their car in the drink. They got a big problem down there, and because it's run by Democrats, nothing's going to be done.
Yeah, it's going to be the new Chicago. I can't believe what they're doing down there. And to me, that's dignity and respect. I mean, this is not about black against white in this country. This is about raising your family and teaching proper education to children and raising them right, not letting them become gang members out.
Yeah. I know, it's terrible. All right, take care. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Morning, Brian. It's 420.
Hey, 420.
When you know the Democrats walked out of the Texas legislature yesterday, right?
Yeah. No, I have not talked about it.
Acting like spoiled children, they can't get their way, and they got their way with the election.
Well, the thing is, I appreciate the call 420. ID is required for everything in our society. You can't board an airplane without ID. You can't do much of anything without ID. Everyone has ID in this country. An ID requirement is not racist. Okay? And that's something that the Democrats have been doing this for many, many years, saying that asking for ID is racist. This isn't 1921, it's 2021. Everyone has state-issued photo ID. You can't cash a check. You can't go to the bank. I mean, what can you do as an adult in this country without state-issued photo ID? Not much. Not much. Everyone has it. So you have to ask yourself, what is the real reason, right? What's the real reason? Why they don't want ID requirements? I think we all know what the real reason is. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE 1-888-465-2631. Let's take our first break of the second hour, and I'll bring up some new topics. Everything I've brought up so far is fair game to discuss, but I'm going to bring up some other topics right after this break. All right, I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. We will be back right after this.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of My Pillow. Here to tell you about my Giza Dream bed sheets. I made sure that they would be everything you'd ever want in a sheet set. I started with the world's finest cotton called Giza. It's only grown in a region where the Sahara Desert, the Nile River, and the Mediterranean Sea all meet. The long staple cotton makes my Giza Dream sheets ultra soft and durable. They come with extra wide pillowcases to fit over any pillow and extra deep pockets to fit over any mattress. Not only that, they come with my 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty. And now you can get the best sheets ever for the best price ever. When you buy one of my Giza Dream bed sheet sets, you'll get another one absolutely free. I personally guarantee that they'll be the most comfortable sheets you'll ever own.
Use the promo code KANE to check out, and when you buy a set of Giza Dream Sheets, get a second set free. But you've got to use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com, or call 1-800-716-4879. Attention seniors, Debbie from I Will Advisors has launched I Will Advocates. I Will Advocates will make all of your doctor's appointments for you, handle your pharmacy issues, including refills, billing problems. They'll even make sure your prescriptions are filled. They'll review your doctor's bills to make sure they are correct. If you're in the hospital and you need an advocate to get the care you need, I Will Advocates, they'll do that too. They'll handle your Medicare and Medicaid applications, and that's just the beginning. They do a lot more too. Give Debbie and her team at I Will Advocates a call right now, 954-345-1214. 954-345-1214. Online, IWillAdvocates.com. Never worry about your health care ever again. Let I Will Advocates handle everything for you. 954-345-1214. 954-345-1214.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for W.
Oh, man. All right, 16 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show. Steve will be joining us after the bottom of the hour break. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Hey, Brian, Robert Penn, Kentucky.
Yeah, Robert in Kentucky.
Number one, if you want to see where all the stuff, nobody needs to look any further than President Rutherford B. Hayes. Because his election, they were.
We're not here talking about Rutherford B. Hayes, okay? You can talk about that up in Kentucky. We got other things to fry here, other fish to fry. I do want to play some audio, though. There is just this reverse racism thing that's going on in this country. I hate to even call it reverse racism, but I have to use the term so people can understand what's going on. This justifiable racism against white people is getting way out of control. This is a local news story I'm going to play for you from a Popeyes. Listen to this story. I'll talk about it as the story goes on.
A shocking sign posted on a fast food restaurant in St. Charles County. It says they can refuse service to white people. It was posted on a Popeyes in Lake St. Louis near Highway N and 6440. Well, Tonight News 4 has learned police are looking into that. Our Russell Kinsall spent the day trying to figure out if it was real and who put it there. He's live on that story for us tonight, Russell.
St. Louis, Missouri.
Samantha, right now this Popeyes restaurant here in Lake St. Louis is closed because of the backlash, because of the threats over that sign, which has now been removed. I talked with police and with the restaurant manager, and I have learned that it was not an employee who posted the sign. This is looking a lot like a really bad prank.
Oh.
I came up to verify it for myself. When I went to the drive-thru, you could see where the sign had been ripped off from the duct tape.
All day, cars have been streaming through the drive-thru at Popeyes in Lake St. Louis, looking to see the sign.
I was thinking, surely this is not true. What is this world coming to?
Photos of the sign have been posted and shared on social media. It says, effective June 1st, this restaurant is under new management and will reserve the right to refuse service to white people. We apologize for any inconvenience, signed General Manager Mason. We wondered if the photo was even genuine. I spoke by phone with someone who saw it.
I do believe that is the same letter I saw when I was in line for lunch on Tuesday or Monday.
So I went to the store to talk to the manager. Russell Kinsall, reporter at KMOV News 4. I'd like to talk to you about the sign that was on your drive-thru.
Unfortunately, it's a ongoing investigation with Lake St. Louis Police Department. I can't comment on it, but it was nobody at the store that posted that.
Lake St. Louis Police confirmed that they believe someone not associated with the business put the sign there, and they are investigating. Police are not sure if the sign is connected with recent vandalism of the restaurant, but people are saying the prank was a bad idea.
That's good for the Popeyes that they didn't do that, but it's as a community, you shouldn't do anything like that. It's going to stir up, more problem.
Yeah, there were several people that said they feel badly for the employees who are catching the heat. Yeah, the news spread really fast about that photo, but people worry that it may take a few days for everyone to realize it's not the employee's fault.
Okay. Now, this is an interesting thing. This sign that said no whites allowed to eat at Popeyes was a very detailed sign that was printed up on bold print and taped to the drive-through, right by the drive-through order speaker, so everybody pulling up to order would see it. Obviously, it was somebody that worked there who did something very stupid thinking it was funny, but there's a few things to say about this, because it's not funny. Someone that works there did it. Why? Who else would put this on the Popeyes, in such a way? And if you see this story online and you see the sign that people took pictures of it, it was somebody that worked there. Okay, you've got some dumb kid who works at the Popeyes who I don't know if they're a racist or if they've just been brainwashed by the current atmosphere in the media in this country when it comes to having attitudes towards white people that are very negative like this, and they thought it was funny. Okay? I wouldn't blame Popeyes. I wouldn't blame the manager necessarily unless they knew about it. I wouldn't blame the franchise owner, and I wouldn't blame the company. And what happens a lot of times with liberals is there'll be an incident like this, except the races will be reversed. Like this incident right here, if it said no blacks will be served as opposed to just whites, if this story was the same except for the race of those that are going to be denied service at Popeyes, they would have the FBI Hate Crimes Task Force investigating it. CNN and MSNBC would be camped outside. Benjamin Crump or somebody else would fly into town and lead a Black Lives Matter demonstration. They would start harassing the Popeyes franchise owner, the Popeyes manager, and at the corporate level for payouts to the reparations fund. And the races are reversed, and they interviewed white person after white person who pulled up to the drive-thru, and they all said the same thing. Oh, just a bad joke. Many of these things that the media make a big deal about are just bad jokes by an individual idiot. and you shouldn't blame a whole company or a whole business on what an individual idiot happens to do. You know, that's why I share that story with you. There's nowhere to go beyond that. One of the kids printed it up and put it on the drive-thru. That's it. Stupid. Police are investigating it. Maybe they'll find out who did it. Maybe they won't. If they have the sign, maybe that has fingerprints on it. I don't know. It's not a hate crime. You know, I mean, look at what happened with Bubba Wallace. Remember that? Oh my goodness. Claimed he saw a noose and it was just a rope that was tied in a bow fashion to, tie the thing in the garage. It was in all the other garages. He called it a noose. They've got a whole national discussion going on for a week or two about it. They go to NASCAR. They want apologies. They want reparations. They want this. They want that. You know, this, a very similar thing. Nobody's asking anything of Popeyes. Now, if the race is reversed, it'd be a whole nother thing. All right, 1-888-GO-CANE1 is our number, 888-465-2631. Now, we did talk about this last week, and there are developments on the COVID from the Wuhan lab. And the one thing I've not been able to figure out, I asked this last week, and I have not heard a decent answer. Why are the mainstream media and the Democrats all of a sudden blaming China for the virus? This is not news to me or you because President Trump was telling us this a year ago. So why are they pushing it now? I don't know. I don't know why they're blaming China now. And I haven't heard anybody even speculate why all of a sudden are they blaming China. And, you know, Rand Paul is talking about biological germ warfare. I know. So that'll probably be what people are talking about in 6 months or a year from now. But why are they blaming the Wuhan lab all of a sudden in the mainstream media? I've not been able to figure out what the big thing is. And I know some people have said, well, it's because it's so obvious, everyone knows it. That doesn't mean that doesn't stop the liberals. Because something's obvious and everyone knows it doesn't mean that they're going to tell you the truth about it. They'll still go with their talking point cover story. And, you know, every attack that was made against President Trump for blaming China on this, remember all those days? There were people that were banned from social media for talking about this. Should they have their bans lifted? And then there's this Jonathan Karl creature who's on ABC, the Sunday show. And this is hilarious. Listen to this.
Over this week, and travel is up again.
This is Martha Raddatz.
COVID cases are way down, but a lot of talk this week about the origin of COVID again. Tom Cotton especially, and many people in the Trump administration said it originated in the lab in Wuhan, China, not with bats. They're taking a second look at that. Do some people have egg on their face, and why does this matter?
Well, I mean, look, it matters for the same reason we were talking about the January 6th Commission. We should find out what happened. This was one of the greatest crises our country has ever faced. We should know the world's ever faced. We need to know how it started. And yes, I think a lot of people have egg on their face. This was an idea that was first put forward by Mike Pompeo, Secretary of State, Donald Trump. And look, some things may be true even if Donald Trump said them.
That's my favorite part. Some things may be true even if Donald Trump said them, like this. You know, it's that Trump derangement syndrome. And he has a little difficult time with this, too. He realizes what he said. Listen.
Mike Pompeo, Secretary of State, Donald Trump. And look, some things may be true even if Donald Trump said them. And because Trump was saying so much else that was just out of control, and because he was making a frankly racist appeal, talking about Kung Flu. And
I don't think he ever said Kung Flu. I could be mistaken about that, but my recollection with that is there's an Asian reporter with ABC News who was born in China. She's an American now, but she was born in China. White House correspondent for ABC News claimed that someone in the administration, in a conversation with her, had referred to COVID as the Kung Flu. I don't think Donald Trump ever said, am I wrong? Did he ever say Kung Flu? President Trump? Not to my recollection. In fact, the only people I heard say it were Democrats and the media. But now we're finding out that even the liberals are agreeing that it came from China. So through this lab, not through an accident with the wet market. And you know, the other thing, so I don't know, a couple things here. One, I don't know why all of a sudden they're blaming the lab. If you guys know, I'd like to know what, because Biden works for China. So why is he blaming his employer? That's one. And the other thing is, okay, so China did it. What will the United States do under Biden? And, you know, Trump knew and alluded to it. He didn't say it completely 100% when he was in office. And I think the reason that Trump didn't is because he knew that if he told the truth during the crisis about what came out of China, that the world would demand war with China. And he's always been an anti-war person, Donald Trump, way back to the days of Vietnam when he was in school. So, you know, I think that's why President Trump kept it low, because he didn't want to have World War III against China that has the largest army in the world and is a nuclear power. All right, our number 1-888-GO-CANE-1. Good morning. Good morning. Yes.
Good morning, Brian.
I thought it was you, Barry. I looked at the time when the phone, and I thought that was Barry. Attorney Barry Siegel. How was your Memorial Day weekend, Barry?
Very nice. How about you?
Good. Still recovering a little bit, but, you know, it's Tuesday, but it feels like Monday.
Yeah. Hope everyone out there had a fun and safe Memorial Day weekend. And, we're hearing about everything going on with everybody traveling. I think this was the busiest travel day since the whole pandemic thing had started. So people are getting out there, jumping on planes, taking longer vacations. And one of the things that we see very often is when people are traveling, that's a situation where they want to get dated to make sure they have an estate plan in place that's the way they want it, in case, God forbid, anything happens. We also get that situation often when people are going in for surgery. They just want to make sure that everything is up to date and handled just in case. So if anybody out there is starting to travel, it's a great time to have your plan reviewed. Make sure your estate plan is going to work for you the way you want it to take care of your loved ones.
Yeah, and I'm seeing a lot of New York and Pennsylvania license plates here throughout South Florida. And it's not snowbird season. That means a lot of you have come down here and you're not making plans because you haven't even changed your plates yet. You need to give Attorney Barry Siegel a call because you could actually be facing probate in 2 states if you don't. Now, it's a completely free consultation to meet with Attorney Barry Siegel. His website is siegellawgroup.com, and you can give him a call directly, 855-FLA-3782, 855-FLA-3782. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel, we will talk later in the week.
All right, thank you, Brian.
All right, take care. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll be back with your calls after this break. Don't go anywhere.
Attention seniors! Debbie from I Will Advisors has launched I Will Advocates. I Will Advocates will make all of your doctor's appointments for you, handle your pharmacy issues, including refills, billing problems. They'll even make sure your prescriptions are filled. They'll review your doctor's bills to make sure they are correct. If you're in the hospital and you need an advocate to get the care you need, I Will Advocates, they'll do that too. They'll handle your Medicare and Medicaid applications, and that's just the beginning. They do a lot more too. Give Debbie and her team at I Will Advocates a call right now, 954-345-1214, 954-345-1214. Online, iwilladvocates.com. Never worry about your health care ever again. Let I Will Advocates handle everything for you. 954-345-1214, 954-345-1214. Have you checked your cholesterol lately? Knowing your numbers is important, especially when it comes to heart health. Any lab tests now of Boca Raton guarantee the lowest prices on all of their thousands of lab tests. Their total cholesterol panel with LDL, HDL, and triglycerides is just $49. No doctor's order or prescription is needed. No appointment either. Just stop right in and you will be in and out in 15 minutes or less. Any lab test now of Boca Raton is located at 23016 Sandalfoot Plaza on the east side of 441, just a few doors down from Western Beef. If you have any questions, call 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. Any lab tests now of Boca Raton. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on The Steve Kane Show.
Listen to The Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for...
All right, we are back. It's Tuesday. Feels like Monday, but it's Tuesday, and it's the 1st of June. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Good morning. It's Greg too, Brian.
Hey, Greg.
Listen, hey, a couple things. Number one, it's atrocious how you let Andrea. Did you hear some of the terms she used during that call? Did you find it like you didn't probably want to question her, even though you did? Like she referred to a lady, which I don't think you used this term with regard to females, chick. Right? There's chick over here. Do you use that term?
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
You do? Okay. Would you refer to your daughter as a chick?
No, I wouldn't do that. That would be creepy. That would be inappropriate and creepy. No, it'd be creepy. It'd be creepy.
When she said Wheezy is moving on up, that was like stereotypical racist to a degree. Because I assume.
No, slow down. You're so you slow down. You're so busy saying things and then commending yourself for being brilliant. You're not even listening. This coming on up thing. Wheezy's name is not Wheezy. Wheezy's name is Lori. And when she first started calling the show, she let us know a couple of things. That her husband is a dentist or something in New York, and that she lives in a very nice high-rise. I started calling her Wheezy from the Jeffersons, moving on up to a deluxe apartment in the sky or whatever it is. You know, that's where that comes from. Her nickname is Wheezy, like Wheezy Jefferson, so that's what the reference is.
By the way, a lot of shows back in the 70s, they said things that were stereotypical that wouldn't be condoned any longer. You know that, like Archie Bunker would never make...
That's not derogatory. The Jeffersons lived next door to Archie Bunker, which was a working class neighborhood. His dry cleaning business took off. I believe he had 6 locations, and he was able to move into a nice high-rise in New York. That's not derogatory.
No, what I'm saying, not for you. I'm saying for your caller. She indicates that she assumes that she grew up in the ghetto moving up. That'd be like me telling her the way she talks. I'll get you out of the trailer park, okay?
Oh, really? So you're looking down at people that live in mobile homes. You're better than them. You're better than people that live in mobile homes?
Also, I'm not better than them, of course.
Mm-hmm. Well, then I don't know why you made that economic comment.
But Andrea did. I was doing what...
Oh, I see.
Oh, yeah, there you go. All right, now my next thing is, you really are not a Republican, Brian, because you take every opportunity to smash every Republican outside of maybe 3. Marco Rubio to Ted Cruz on occasion, you intimate he's connected with Castro, to a multitude of Republicans that ever said anything negative.
I never said Ted Cruz was connected to Castro.
Father.
No. Well, his father escaped Castro. Yeah.
And you're intimating that he's beholden somehow, and he doesn't. You're cautious about him because of that.
No, not at all. Do you listen to this show?
I listen to you. You don't remember what you said.
No, I remember what I said. Ted Cruz. Okay, there's a photograph of Lee Harvey Oswald in New Orleans on the sidewalk with a man that many people believe is Ted Cruz's father. And back in those days, George Bush, the father, was in the FBI. He went on to be FBI director and CIA director. I believe it is his father, Ted Cruz's father. Ted Cruz came up through the Bush family. I don't think that the Ted Cruz family have connections to the communists in Cuba. I think they have connections to the Bush family deep state of this country. That's what I believe.
That's another thing you do. You attack everybody that when you attack Cruz, by the way, during the debate like 5 years ago when he was
yeah, just because of President Trump did too. I don't attack all Republicans. Listen, the leader of the Republican Party is Donald Trump. Okay, and there are people in the Republican Party that are trying to lose the next 2 elections. The Liz Cheney, George W. Bush wing of the Republican Party. I'm going to call them out.
What's your basis of that?
Look at what they're doing, because my basis is that Liz Cheney and others are advocating that Trump-backed candidates don't win in the midterms. That's my basis for it. It's in the news all the time.
You said Republicans. That's one.
No, there's a whole wing. You are aware that there are two factions of the Republican Party right now, right? The Donald Trump MAGA faction, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Matt Gaetz types, and then we have the Mitt Romney, Liz Cheney types that are fighting against President Trump and MAGA. You are aware of this, correct?
Yeah, of course. But you know what? I back Republicans in general. I don't badmouth them. That's the problem between...
No, I'm not that way. See, we used to say to Democrats, because you're rude. Okay. We used to say the Democrats in Century Village would vote for Adolf Eichmann if he had a D next to his name, and there was truth to that. And so that's what you're telling. You're going to vote for just a Republican because they got an R next to their name? Are you out of your mind?
Because they're better than the Democrats.
I don't think, not necessarily. There are Democrats better than Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney is a terrible person, as is Paul Ryan. Mitt Romney tried... Well, I didn't know he was a creep back then in 2012. But Mitt Romney in the last presidential election put up this McMuffin fake candidate on the ballot to go up against Trump in a bunch of states to help Hillary win in 2016.
Listen, there's no doubt I agree with you that there's that anti-Trump sentiment that some Republicans try to do harm to him. But by us bashing our own Republicans, you'd rather have a Democrat in office. Let's forget Mitt Romney. You'd rather have a Democrat in office than Marco Rubio. Is that it?
Marco Rubio's different. Marco Rubio's different because he's a pathetic man whose biggest fear in life is not holding office and having to get a job. So he is held in line by the strong Republicans we have in Florida that are MAGA. So I'm not worried about him.
But the bottom line is we need to lay off our Republicans.
No, we do not need to lay off these Republicans. They're these rhino rats, I call them rats, Republicans against Trump, are trying to help the Democrats win the midterms. If Trump is the nominee, and if Trump doesn't run, he backs DeSantis, this other wing of the Republicans are going to try to stop Trump's endorsed candidate from winning. So no.
Why would Mitch McConnell or Kevin McCarthy want to lose the election where they could gain all the power back? Why would they endorse that? Come on.
No, because they wouldn't gain the power back. If the Republicans retake both houses and the presidency with Trump, they don't have power. They're just along for the ride. Trump's the boss. Mitch McConnell and Kevin McCarthy would rather control the Republican Party in a minority position than lose control of the party while the party has the majority in Congress.
Well, on that note, I'll just
and McConnell works for China.
I know his wife is Chinese.
No, not that his wife is Chinese. Excuse me. No, I know people. I didn't say because his wife is Chinese. Not because his wife. By the way, his wife is an American who is from China. She was born in China. No.
You're the one that's brought that up. At least it doesn't.
No, not that his wife is Chinese. Not that his wife is Chinese. That her family, which she's a part of, have very, very close ties to the Chinese Communist Party. Her father went to school with the former president of China, and they gave Mitch McConnell $15 million. So he works for China. She's like an agent. She's a spy. Like that girl that was sleeping with Swalwell. She's a spy.
Spy? You just called her a spy.
Yes.
You just did. You called her a spy.
Yes, I did. Yes, I know. It was on the radio. I said it into this microphone.
Right. Gee, you know what? How could I even argue that? There's no basis.
I know, because it's so true.
It's so true. What has she done derogatory to the United States?
She has. Do you think Mitch McConnell is as ugly as the day is long? He is one of the most physically unattractive people in Congress. One of the most. Maybe in the Senate. He may be the most physically unattractive man in the Senate. Why do you think some Chinese rich heiress would marry this physically repulsive man?
You know what? Well, of course, he's a United States senator. He has going to get girls he ordinarily could. Like Donald Trump is married to a supermodel. If he was earning $10 an hour at McDonald's, I don't think they'd be mad.
Well, if he was making $10 an hour at McDonald's, what would he have to offer to Melania? But Mitch McConnell was targeted. Excuse me. Well, he has a very nice personality, from what people tell me. That I've read many interviews with people that have dated him. But Mitch McConnell was a mark. He's a mark.
People that can't get attractive ladies, why? They have nothing to offer if you're working at McDonald's.
No, what Mitch McConnell has to offer, is access and control over the United States government. Just like that spy that was sleeping with Eric Swalwell, just like Dianne Feinstein's limo driver.
I don't know enough to talk about.
Well, then, yeah, I know. That's why I know you don't know much.
Okay, well, I don't know everything, Brian, but you...
Oh, my day's already great, as opposed to yours, with this fake happiness you're doing. You're faking being happy.
Listen, I'm not faking. You know what? See, once again, you throw out a personal attack you have no basis for.
No, I have a basis for it. I can tell.
Hey, Brian, we've met actually one time. I went to one of your events. The financial planner at the Coach train station in Boca was 2 blocks from my office. I walked.
Yeah, it's right down the street from the radio station. Yeah. I don't remember you, but I remember being there, yeah.
Yeah, you and Steve were there. You were standing on the side. I said, hey, nice to meet you. You looked up at me because you're on your cell phone. Hey, how you doing? Steve, I walked by, I said, have a great day, and I walked out. We didn't have a length. We went briefly, I said. It was at that station. So these things that you, throw out there and all your...
What does that have to do with anything? I meet people all the time. What does that mean?
Because I would never take the time out of my day if I wasn't interested and had a positive attitude about you guys. I wouldn't take the time out of my day. I'd work.
Oh.
Unless I thought you were a decent guy, Steve as well, and that financial planner and her son sounded interesting.
Yeah. See, this is the end of this call. See, you guys that are new listeners, this is upper level talk radio listenership. I just explained to you. See, what's happening now is Greg feels like a fool for this entire call, so he's trying to bond with me. He's trying to bond with me now so he can leave the call feeling good about himself.
I'm not trying to bond with you. I'm just trying to disprove.
You're like the first call I had today. That idiot Big C, looked like he sounded like an incoherent fool. He called back to try to do damage control. It's okay,
He wasn't articulate, but the point was you're really not you're not a Republican. You're a Trump supporter.
Oh yeah, President Trump is the leader of the Republican Party.
You don't support a majority Republican.
The majority of Republicans support Trump. The majority of Republicans are not the majority that sit in the House and sit in the Senate. Ron DeSantis, he's with Trump. I promise you he's not with Liz Cheney.
Congress. I apologize for...
Oh, that's all the Republicans. All right, enough. We'll take our last break of this hour. When we come back, we'll be joined by Steve Kane himself. Oh, my goodness. The callers are not doing well today. Liberal callers, that is. Liberal callers today, every single one of them, and we've heard from a lot of liberals today, just do not sound well. Not exactly sure what's going on. All right. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. 888-465-2631. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. On the radio since 1977. We'll be back with Steve Kane after this.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate, where they have all the major brands like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beat. Steve Kane's tires for his Toyota van at the other shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. That's a $100 savings per tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the shops around town. The price at Friendly Tire, only $65. That's a $70 savings per tire. These prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of good used tires too, starting at just $30 for most cars. Call my good buddy Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone at 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net.
This is Dr. Mitchell Matez of the BioStation West Delray. I am so happy to be able to now offer the latest and most comprehensive approach to health, wellness, and anti-aging at my new West Delray location. In addition to the hormone therapies you are accustomed to, we can now offer testing for all of your health concerns, including vitamin and nutrient levels, cardiac risk panels, immune system markers, and much, much more. We also offer the full array of aesthetic modalities, including Botox, fillers, lasers, etc., as well as the latest state-of-the-art non-invasive treatments for erectile dysfunction, private IV suites, personal patient advocates, and comprehensive wellness, all in a spectacular new setting. Call me at my new office number, 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893 to schedule your appointment today.
I checked the temperature this morning before I left. The high today is going to be almost 90 degrees here in South Florida. The hot weather, it's already here, and it's only going to get hotter. On the line from Cut My Kilowatts, we have Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. He's going to tell you how he can save you big money on your electric bill.
We're facing the onslaught of summer here, and a lot of people are going to be noticing that, if they haven't noticed already, that their air conditioner is just running non-stop, fighting to keep the house cool. A lot of times the air conditioner can't even keep up with the heat gain. You know, like, you'll have the temperature set in your house at 74, and you'll look at the thermostat, it'll be at 76 or 77 or even 78.
Yeah.
Even as high as 80. So what we do is cutmykilowatts.com, and we've been doing radiant barrier in South Florida for 10 years. I mean, we did Steve Kane's house probably 10 years ago when I first started doing this in South Florida. Radiant barrier stops the heat gain in the house, lowers the temperature in the attic 30 to 40 degrees, literally cuts the AC runtime in half, and a lot of money.
Let's explain to people what radiant barrier is. We have known Scott from Cut My Kilowatts for well over a decade. He's with us every summer here on the Steve Kane Show. In the heat of the summer, the attic, how hot does an attic get during the summer, Scott?
It can get, depending on what kind of roof it has, with a shingle or tile, shingle being the hottest, 140, 150, you even see 160 degrees.
Yeah, and what that does is that 150, 160 degree heat in your attic makes your ceiling hot, and of course your air conditioning ducts are in your ceiling. It heats them up, and it makes your air conditioner work longer, harder, causing your electric bill going up, struggling to keep your house cool. So Scott has the radiant barrier. So tell people what radiant barrier is and how it works.
Radiant barrier is like a big aluminum foil tarp that goes on the
Racism
underside
originates
of the
with
roof
and
deck
is
below.
perpetuated by white people. Learning Spanish from a white woman.
It basically just turns the heat wave.
I wish I could go back and tell my students not to learn power or correct
it makes your roof function like a white shingle reflective roof. You know, you see those white roofs on people's houses. They put them on because it cuts their electric bill 25-30%. Same thing with radiant barrier. You put it in on the underside of your roof deck. You know, it's like $1 a square foot, and we even got a special. If you spend 1,000 square feet or more, you get an additional $500 off. So I mean, it's very reasonable. It's very affordable. This time of year, you know, you're getting it for half price, plus you're getting additional money off. We also do traditional insulation, and we do ductwork. So we can do like the complete job in your attic, whatever you need up in your attic. Insulation, ductwork, you know, radiant barrier, we can do the whole package.
Now listen,
we do that for a lot of people.
It's getting hot today. It's going to be about 88, 89 degrees here in South Florida. We're not in the hottest heat of the summer yet. We will be soon. And because of that, Scott, he's offering a great discount before it gets super, super hot, because as it gets hotter and hotter, it's more difficult for his crew to work in the attic. Now, it's not quite as hot. They can get the work done faster, can spend more time in the attic. I'm going to give you Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. I'm going to give you his website and his number. If you miss this, it's listed at SteveKaneShow.com. First, you can give Scott a call at 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500. Online, cutmykilowatts.com. And again, listed at SteveKaneShow.com. Scott will save you money on your electric bill this and every summer. All right, Scott from Cut My Kilowatts, have a great day. We will talk later in the week.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for it.
All right, we are back. It is 10 before 8. You with us, Steve? I sure am. Oh, my goodness. The liberals are... What's going on? Well, it sounds just like one to me, so I don't know. You're hearing me twice? Well, I can't help you. Tyler's got to figure that out. Are you going to be with us or not? I need to know before I go. All right. Steve will be back with us at 8 o'clock. Oh, okay, I just mute Steve. I'll go back to you at 8, Steve. You know, I was going to say to Steve, it was a funny thing because I can't remember if it was Thursday or Friday's show. Cause that seems like a lifetime ago, doesn't it? Thursday or Friday show. We were talking about these new guys with Rush, replacing Rush. Was that Friday's show? I can't remember. But now that's on. Is it one of these things, Rich? Yeah. The mono.
Where is?
Is it that it?
Where is the coverage?
That's him.
Okay.
He was in mono. If I take it out. All right. I think we got it fixed, Steve. You back with us? See, what happened here is I don't think Steve can hear me yet, but we got you back, Steve, and everything should be fine now. Somebody was in the studio over the weekend playing, pretending to be on the radio, and they pushed every button on the control board. And there's only, I don't know, 130 buttons or something. I don't know how many are here. I've never counted them. But they pushed every button on the control board because that's what people do when they play that they're on the radio when nobody's at the radio station. And so some of the things have not been working this morning. But you back with us, Steve? No, Steve's still trying to figure it out on his own. Okay. So I will get to Steve out of the way. But anyway, I can't remember if it was Thursday's show or Friday's show. We were talking about the Rush replacements, and I was telling Steve Friday, I said, man, these people online have been going after you so bad, you know, thinking you lost your mind, saying terrible things. And Steve said to me, they'll live. He didn't even care. They'll live. That's all he said. All right, listen, our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. Oh, yes. Let's not forget this. Biden, this is really twisted stuff. Let me put out a disclaimer. If you are driving young children to school right now, parents, many of you are on your way to school, you may want to turn the volume down, or maybe you won't. But Joe Biden got very inappropriate with a young child. Maybe parents should let their kids hear. Because when I was a kid, we used to talk about stranger danger. You guys remember that? Stranger danger? Yeah. Well, this actually could be Joe Biden talking to this little girl on Friday. This could be a textbook example of stranger danger to keep your kids away, at least the young girl, away from Joe Biden. So Joe Biden is speaking to a group on Friday, and okay, I think we got you back, Steve. Is it all one voice now? Okay. Well, that's good. Well, you got to hear mine too, though. Can you hear mine too? Okay, you can hear mine too. Okay. I was just talking. There was somebody in here over the weekend playing around on the board. Yeah.
Management would take appropriate action.
I don't know. Maybe they could put cameras in here, and they pushed every button on the control board. Every button on the control board has been pushed when I came in this one. Yeah. So I thought I depressed all the ones that had to be depressed except one. And that was your button, but I know, isn't that fun? So anyway, as I was saying, stranger danger, those of us that are parents, especially parents of daughters, have raised our daughters to be very aware of strangers that are inappropriate with them, and there is no one more inappropriate than Joe Biden. So I want to play this for you. I want to play the beginning of it before we get to the creepy part, because he says something here that really needs to be discussed. This is Joe Biden on Friday.
And, I'm honored to be joined today by Governor Northam.
Okay, now this is why I want to play the beginning here, because he's honored to be joined by Governor Northam. That's the governor of Virginia, who was either in blackface or the Klansman uniform in that yearbook photograph. Remember that? So Joe Biden is honored to be with a man, standing right there with him, that was either in blackface or a Klansman's uniform. And I'll tell you, that Klansman uniform was the real deal. That wasn't bed sheets. That was a real Klansman uniform. But anyway, then he goes on.
Thank you for all that you do to represent these service veterans, because they're devoted to you. Their family members and caregivers, survivors, will call Virginia home. I'm especially honored to...
Okay, now we're going to get into the creepy part. He's talking to a little girl who's 9-ish,
To share the stage with Brittany and Jared and Nathan and Margaret Catherine. I love those barrettes in her hair, man. I tell you what, I look at her, she looks like she's 19 years old, sitting there with her, like a little lady with her legs crossed. Brittany, you're doing triple legs.
Her legs crossed, and he loves the barrettes in her hair. Yeah. Yeah, listen.
Was all sitting there with her, like a little lady with her legs crossed.
Yeah, that's Biden. Oh my goodness. What a sicko.
Every once in a while, it just, that little devil sneaks out on him.
Well, he just, I
Speak of child molestation.
I think that he kind of is just like testing how much he can get away with. I mean, nobody calls him on it. I mean, that...
With that, I don't think he's testing. I think that kind of comes from the deep dark within him, and I think he sneaks out every once in a while.
Yeah.
Because it reaches a point where he can't control it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't think that statement came out in spite of Joe Biden.
And that girl was very young. She might have been under 9. I don't know. It's so disgusting. I'm sorry to have to share that with you, but
there were a couple of things in the video of that when I watched for it after you told me about it. There was a couple of girls up there. Evidently, one of them is related to Biden in some way.
Not this one.
Was just past puberty.
Yeah, there was another incident where after this, he was at the ice cream joint chatting it up with like this 16-year-old girl. I mean, it was real. He's just a creep. He is just a creepy man. Well, let's take a call or two, then we'll break for the top. Good morning. Yeah, what's your name?
My name is John, and I'm from Boynton Beach.
Hey, John.
Hey, John.
I went to a Republican deal up in Palm Beach about 4 years ago, where they had lobster and stuff. It was a very special event there, and Rubio shows up, and he's got his little entourage there. Just comes in, says hello to the person that was running the thing, and that's it. Once he was done with his speech, he took off. He never shook hands, never came to say hello to anybody. Thank you for coming.
Well, little Marco, I don't like Marco Rubio. And Marco Rubio, he's too stupid to understand this. But when Obama became president, the Republicans went on this big mission to apply affirmative action to say, we have black people and Hispanic people too. And a lot of people that were minorities got promoted through the ranks of the Republican Party who were who were not ready yet. And Marco Rubio was one of them. And if you remember, when he gave his response to Barack Obama's State of the Union speech, he humiliated himself. Remember that? Because he wasn't ready for prime time. He's an affirmative action quota, Marco Rubio.
He's really super impressed with himself.
Well, yeah. Yeah, he's married to a Miami Dolphins cheerleader. Look at him. He's all excited. And he said that he wasn't going to run for re-election in the Senate because he was running for president, and then he lost. And there was this really sad article. He was cleaning up the leaves in his driveway, and he's like, "What am I going to do?" And then he got a call. We'll back you. You can run for your Senate seat again, and he did. That's he's little Marco Rubio. But hey, what are we going to do? We got to vote for him. I mean, we can't let these Democrats take the seat. So until we get a good Republican there, we got to vote for little Marco. And that's it. I know. Take care. Well, no, we got Rick Scott too. All right, listen. It's 8:00 in the morning. Steve is here. We'll take our break for the top of the hour. Come back for the third and final hour of this Tuesday morning, first show of the month. It's June 1st. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane is here, and we'll be right back. Third hour coming up right now.
AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Attention seniors! Debbie from I Will Advisors has launched I Will Advocates. I Will Advocates will make all of your doctor's appointments for you, handle your pharmacy issues, including refills, billing problems. They'll even make sure your prescriptions are filled. They'll review your doctor's bills to make sure they are correct. If you're in the hospital and you need an advocate to get the care you need, I Will Advocates, they'll do that too. They'll handle your Medicare and Medicaid applications, and that's just the beginning. They do a lot more too. Give Debbie and her team at I Will Advocates a call right now. 954-345-1214. 954-345-1214. Online, IWillAdvocates.com. Never worry about your health care ever again. Let I Will Advocates handle everything for you. 954-345-1214. 954-345-1214. Steve Kane radio listeners love Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca.
I went over to a Champagne Automotive, and I gotta say that this man is the most fair mechanic I have dealt with in my entire life. We took a car over there that was not being used yet. You know, it belonged to my 90-year-old dad. Everybody I had taken it to before was charging an astronomical amount of money. But when we took it over there, Eddie took a look at it, and I gotta say that this man fixed the car. It's running like a charm. Anybody that needs a mechanic, I strongly recommend Eddie, and he is just the best thing that's happened to this family as far as car maintenance goes. It's fixed. Bottom line, it's fixed, and the price was right.
Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca will never do a repair on your car that your car doesn't need. And their prices are low. Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca. Give them a call. 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101.
If you suffer with diabetes, did you know there's a 25% chance that you will develop a foot ulcer at some point in your life? And foot ulcers, when you have diabetes, can lead to severe health consequences up to and including amputation. Now, Medicare recognizes the importance of preventative foot care and has provided coverage for those of you who are at-risk patients. I want to introduce you to my good friends at the Soul Authority. At the Soul Authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own pair of therapeutic shoes made specially for diabetics. You're probably not aware, but as a diabetic Medicare recipient, you are entitled to one pair of high-quality diabetic shoes with 3 custom inserts per year. These are not the ugly Frankenstein shoes. These are name-brand shoes. They're stylish. They'll provide you with the extra width and extra depth to stop diabetic foot problems before they begin. Oftentimes, amputation due to diabetes is preventable, and one of the preventable measures that is most effective is wearing the proper shoes. Call the Soul Authority at 954-597-7060 or online at thesoulauthority.com. That's THESOLE authority.com. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll free, dial 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's 1-888-GO-KANE-1. And now, here's Steve.
All right, third hour has begun. You know, your house, Steve, is becoming a textbook example of what happens when you ignore leaks on your ceiling from your roof. We got, I mean, you're well, Steve is probably embarrassed for me to share with what I'm going to share with you about the condition of his home. Well, it's for the spot. I mean, you know, I got to tell people, you know. Yeah, exactly. Well, you take one. You're taking one for the giver. Now, we talk about all the time, you know, when you see a little wet spot on your ceiling, you could have a very big problem, because by the time it gets to your ceiling level up at the roof itself, there's probably a huge puddle of damage. up there because you get a little leak over there and the water builds up and it causes all kinds of problems. And Steve didn't just have one little wet spot, he had many wet spots on his ceiling. Didn't do anything except let more of them develop. And Tom Laporta started the roof work on Steve's house last week, which is only part of the project because we know Steve has black mold in about half of the drywall in his house from ignoring these leaks, which is deadly black mold, so the drywall's getting replaced as well. But when they pulled off the roof, they found that some of the walls on the outside of the house had so much water damage that they were actually rotting and about to fall. In fact, there was one room where the window was about to fall right out of the wall because the water damage you ignored had caused so much trouble. And these are things that you can avoid. If you have one little wet spot on your ceiling, call Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting. Have him come out. He'll do a free inspection. You very well may just need a repair, a simple repair. When you ignore them, your house ends up like Steve's, right? You got black mold in half of your drywall. The walls of your home outside your bedroom are about ready to fall. The windows are falling out and everything because the water does so much damage.
Result.
Oh, yeah.
Two big fans of the Steve Kane Show. Their company is theirs.
Oh, great.
And Brian Craig, you too.
Yeah. Well, listen, give Tom a call. This number, he's a big Trump guy too. He's a good guy. Give him a call. This number rings. Yeah, I will. This number rings right to his cell phone, 954-604-4602, 954-604-4602. And also, if you watch on YouTube, you can see this. People ask me all the time, what is this thing behind you? This is a roof tile, a Spanish tile, which is the Spanish tile that is on the roof of Mar-a-Lago, President Trump's home here in Florida. And I'm holding on to this till I can get President Trump to autograph it for me. But Tom Laporta can actually turn your roof into a Trump roof and put the same roof tiles on your home that President Trump has at Mar-a-Lago, and he can help you with that. His website, LaportaContracting.com. Now, before we go back to the phones, I mentioned this when we were having the tech problems. I want to bring it up because it's a funny thing. I don't know if it was Thursday or Friday. We were talking about those rush replacements, Buck Sexton and the other guy, Travis Trent, or whoever the other guy is. And you and I were. By the way, that show starts at the end of June. I think it starts the day after Father's Day. They haven't started yet. And I was telling you on Friday. I said, Friday afternoon we were talking on the phone, and I said, "Man, Steve, these listeners online, they are really ripping into you. I can't believe the way they're talking. They were so upset with you." And I don't know if you remember what you said to me, but you said, "They'll live." It's like, it's just like they'll live. Big deal, you know what I mean? They were so
Will.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
All I said is that.
Oh, we're gonna redo it now.
No. Okay, thanks.
They hated on you enough. You can get over it one day so easily, but they'll live. I thought that was hilarious. All right, listen, let's go back to the phones and we'll bring up some more stuff. All right, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. That's the number. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Hey, is Steve there? I want to rip in this.
It's one call per show, but you're on, so we'll let you go. 420. He's the pothead.
But, Steve, I'm telling you right now, you are being attacked. He has a divorce.
Well, Steve has several.
What's he talking?
He's Steve. He's a stoner. 420. He's high.
Okay.
See, he just said he's high. Yeah.
Steve.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, are you still there, Steve?
Don't ask me why, but yes, I am.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so what was?
I keep hoping for something to come out of your mouth that I can work with. So far,
yeah,
been a hopeless mess.
Well, if you were
a hot mess.
I could give you something to work with if you.
Look, give me something. You're incoherent up to this point.
That's high. Don't do drugs, kids.
As I said. Okay, so you had, times you've been divorced 3 times, right?
No.
How many times?
Twice.
Twice. Okay.
Twice.
What in your opinion caused the divorce?
Oh.
That's a good question. I allow that.
Well, the first one's Alex Rocco, the actor, who just died.
Yeah, my first marriage was to a nice lady who lived in Hollywood, California, and she ran off with a...
Mo Green. She ran off with Mo Green.
Okay.
From The Godfather, yes.
Hold on. So
yes,
thing right there.
Oh, my goodness.
What's a good thing?
Your first was California. Now,
yes,
you're in, Florida now, right?
Oh, my God. Can I let him go, Steve?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I tried.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah.
Brian's right. Don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs, no. Yeah, especially don't do drugs and call radio shows. All right? Good morning. You're on the radio. Oh, my goodness. It's somebody with their window down. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Yeah, can you roll up your window, please?
Yeah, it's me you're talking to?
Yeah, it's you, Wayne. Can you roll up your window? Yeah. He's on the Jamaican bobsled.
Oh, my God. Another stoner.
I love the stoner. I heard you this morning, Brian, talking about Tulsa.
Yes.
And if it's an aberration. We have had many Tulsas. We have had Tulsas in Florida. In fact, I can name you 2. Rosewood was one, and there was another one in Osceola. So it's not an aberration.
Yeah, and Rosewood, like with Tulsa, was 100 years ago, and it was also done by Democrats. So there's a problem. We have a problem with Democrat mobs attacking black people. Rosewood, Florida, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and those so-called Democrats, what did they?
Not so-called. They were Democrats.
They became.
Oh, my Lord.
They became Republicans.
No, they didn't. No.
And Ronald Reagan became Republican.
Ronald Reagan was not in Rosewood or Tulsa during the massacre.
2 calls in a row.
Steve, it's been this way since 6 a.m.
Brian Lynch. Oh, jeez.
It's been this way since 6 a.m. with Big C's call. It's been this way all day.
Oh, my Lord.
I know. That's why I was waiting for you to get on here. I'm done with these people.
We ought to take advantage of this. Marijuana is legal now, isn't it?
In some areas. I think.
It seems to me that we have a lot of people that use it in our audience.
Well, he's from Jamaica. They give it to them at birth.
Staples.
Yeah, let's finish. Okay, you with us, Wayne?
Hello.
Come on, Wayne. Try to be coherent. Try to just give me back my faith.
I see what you deliberately do. You try to cut me off.
You're kidding. You mean like this? Get off the phone, you...
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh.
Dave, Dwayne, and Wayne, whatever the...
Yeah.
We'll talk soon.
Oh, my goodness. Oh. Good morning. Oh, my God. You're on the air, caller.
Hey. Why they're admitting that the virus came from China.
Okay.
Should I
At last, a coherent call.
Yeah, I know. I'm shocked. We don't even know how to talk to coherent people.
I can't. The call's real bad. You sound. I can't hardly.
We can hear you fine.
Okay, I'm gonna.
Go ahead.
So what happened? I read that Obama, it came out. They found out that lab there was with their research. So Obama stopped the funding. And then when Trump came along, Fauci did the loophole and refunded it. And I think they're going to blame Trump for the Trump administration funding that gain of funds.
No, they know Fauci did it. So no, this is what I can't figure out. This is what I can't came from the Trump administration. No, that's a stretch. That's a stretch. All right, it's a good guess. All right, take care. Thanks for the call. Listen, let's take our break. I think I've got contact high from the last couple callers. Let's take our break and you know what? Let's try to do a reset. You guys out there in the listening audience, we want to hear from coherent people. We don't want to hear from people that are high. We don't want to hear from people that have alcohol in their system still from the weekend. You know, we want to hear from coherent, thoughtful people. And let's just try to raise the level so far as the quality of call. The first calls of the show today in the 6 o'clock hour were just like this. This is a difficult show when you're talking to stoners all day. All right, our number is 1-888-GO-CANE 1-888-465-2631. We'll be back with the great reset of the show after this.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate, where they have all the major brands like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beat. Steve Kane's tires for his Toyota van at the other shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. That's a $100 savings per tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the shops around town. The price at Friendly Tire, only $65. That's a $70 savings per tire. These prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of good used tires too, starting at just $30 for most cars. Call my good buddy Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net. Hey guys, Brian Craig here. Here on the Steve Kane Show, we love hearing from our listeners talk about their great experiences with our sponsors. Here's Rebecca talking about the MyPillow. Good morning, you're on the radio. What's your name?
Rebecca.
Hey, Rebecca.
Good morning. I just wanted to know, Steve and Brian, that I've been listening to you. I'm 57 years old. I've been listening to you since I'm 21.
Wow.
Just so you know, and this is my first time calling. I ordered MyPillow, and let me tell you, I thought it was just a, marketing tool saying that you sleep better at night. Oh my God. I'm here to attest that it is the truth. I sleep so much better. I can't even tell you. So I want everyone out there to believe that when people say you sleep better, you really do. And I've been having a lot of issues at night. And I've bought expensive pillows and, cheap pillows. And this has really made a difference.
Listen to Rebecca. Go to MyPillow.com and use the promo code KANE at checkout, KANE, and have the best night's sleep you've ever had with your MyPillow or one of the other great products that you'll find there. Promo code KANE, KANE, at MyPillow.com.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WW.
All right. I'm afraid to go to the phones. All right. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Oh, good morning. Wow. I'm trying to
there's
screw this up because I had a hot this morning.
Well, good morning to you. What's on your mind, caller?
Good morning. I wondered if your sentiments were, or if you had any more information on what's going on.
We're in a wait and see pattern right now. We'll wait when everything is done, because I don't want to get anyone's hopes up. Yeah, well, okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. No. Well, there'll be conclusions. Yeah. Yeah. To change the subject, but okay. Finish. I thought you were finished. Yeah. 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 Hopefully. Yeah. I hope so. Now, it was yesterday, Memorial Day. I went to the Trump boat parade in Jupiter, and it was absolutely amazing. And what blew my mind is there were a lot of people there, but I ran into people. A lot of people were asking me for directions, which is unusual. And some of these, a lot of people were asking me for directions to Mar-a-Lago because everybody wants to go by and see Mar-a-Lago when they leave the boat parade. And I meant people that had traveled from out of state just to see this Trump boat parade yesterday. There were these three ladies came up to me for they flew in from Missouri just for the Trump boat parade. It's amazing to me. And there were other people there I met too that were from out of town and out of state that came to town just for the boat parade for Trump in Jupiter. And by the way, President Trump was not even there, and they still flew from out of state just to be a part of the event. And for anyone out there that thinks, isn't that something? That's amazing. I've never, Jupiter, take me about an hour to get to where the boat parade is from my house. And, that's like, oh man, an hour. These people actually bought plane tickets just to fly to Palm Beach and then go there just to see. No other elected official, this is one of the reasons the establishment hate him so much. No other elected official has had people so loyal and of them and who just love him so much, and the other politicians are jealous of Trump. They really are. I've never seen anything like this. That really surprised me that people came in from out of town because the election is over. We're not in an election season yet. So usually, midterm elections. Yeah, well, midterm election season starting soon. That's like the Super Bowl, and then the presidential elections every 4 years. It's like the World Cup. And there's a period between elections where people aren't that active, and people lose interest. Yeah, but not this time. Not this time, not at all. And I saw some of the, these boats in the boat parade, they all have signs. They want you to know who they are and what they're about. I saw some signs on some of them. Black boaters for Trump. I've never even heard of that before. Black boaters for Trump. That's no boaters with a B because it was a boat parade. Black boaters. It's a boat parade. I was very careful. They had signs, they had banners. Black boaters for Trump. And this is one that really blows my mind. A lot of Asians, a lot of Vietnamese people, a lot of Chinese people, a lot of Asians for Trump from different Asian groups. A lot of Chinese, a lot of Vietnamese, and a lot of Spanish-speaking people for Trump I ran into at these things. Never have I seen such real, true diversity. And I'll tell you, like when you go to Democrat events, they have diversity, right? They got the gays, the straights, the Hispanics, the blacks, and they segregate, right? All the blacks are together, all the Hispanics are together, the gays are together. You go to these Trump events, you got all those things too, but they mingle together. They're not self-segregating at the event. So if there is a Trump event near you of any kind, you really should go. You'll have a great time, and it's something that everyone should experience at least once. I mean, and if there's a boat parade near you, definitely try to go. Okay, because it's an experience like none. The boat parades are very exciting. Plus, there's girls in bikinis on some of the boats, guys. So that'll get you out of there, get you to it. This is one of the most bizarre lefty liberal professor things I've ever seen out of Oklahoma State University. Listen to this. They were these professors at Oklahoma State were doing a Zoom session. Okay, listen to this. As part of the session, white teacher Jessica Bridges shares that she stopped teaching Spanish because it was not right for a white woman to teach Spanish. She had this revelation after taking a course she found on Instagram about how to become a better white ally and anti-racist co-conspirator. She says, racism originates with and is perpetuated by white people. She talked about the horror that children she taught had to learn Spanish from a white woman. I wish I could go back and tell my students not to learn power or correctness from this white woman. I would tell them to stand with their own power. White isn't right, she said. So what about if you're learning Greek and Latin? Do you have to be taught by a Greek or something? I mean, what the hell? That you can only learn Spanish from Spanish? I had Spanish in high school, and my teacher was white. And all the Spanish kids, they had a lot of Cubans in the class, because here in South Florida, they all pretend not to speak Spanish, you know, because if you speak Spanish, they don't let you take Spanish. So they all pretend not to speak it, because then they get tossed out of class and have to take like another, like French, you know, that they don't already know. But I remember all my Cuban classmates in 9th and 10th grade, they used to laugh at the teacher. They said she speaks Spanish so slow, you know, that they said that, and they would talk in English. They would say, she speaks Spanish at this rate of speed. And they didn't seem to mind that they were learning it from a white woman. They just needed to be happy that they were getting their easy A. But this self-hating anti-whiteness cancel culture is this woman canceled herself. Can't learn Spanish from a white person. Oh my goodness. All right, listen. Let's take our break for the bottom of the hour. It's 8:30 in the morning. I'm Brian. Steve is here. Our number, toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE1, 888-465-2631. We'll be back after this.
Kane, and I want to tell you about Brighton Dental Care. I just had a lot of work done, and I avoided going to the dentist for a lot of years because I was afraid of the cost. But I went to Brighton Dental for my free consultation, which, by the way, he offers to all Steve Kane listeners. I had 2 cavities, I needed a crown on top and a crown on the bottom. If I were a horse, they would have put me down. So I scheduled my appointment.
Patriot Jenna, $5 super chat. Thank you. Everyone thank Patriot Jenna for that super chat. Wesley, $5 super chat. Everyone thank Wesley for his super chat. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Steve Kane listeners incredible discounts on all dental procedures, just like they gave me. Prices are so reasonable, you don't have to worry about the cost. So call Brighton Dental today at 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633. You can visit them at brightondental.com and tell them Lori Kane sent you.
At noon weekdays, turn your radio to Richard Pearl on Politics. Unfiltered, unapologetic, always controversial. Richard Pearl tells it like it is. No topic is off limits. This is talk radio like it should be. You've known him as a master of nutraceuticals. Now, listen to Richard Pearl as you've never heard him before. Richard Pearl on Politics. High noon weekdays on this radio station. Be there. Hey guys, Brian Craig here. I have the MyPillow slippers at Mike Lindell. He's right. These are the most comfortable slippers I've ever worn. And you can get them for 40% off at MyPillow.com with the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. One of our listeners called in on the air and told us about his experience with the MyPillow My Slippers.
Brian, I have
Pamela, $5 super sticker. Thank you so much. Everyone thank Pamela.
These are fantastic slippers.
Really? Which ones do you have? Which style do you have?
The fur-lined one.
Oh, the slip-on fur-lined ones?
Oh, by the way, I'm not going to tell you who they are. You may figure it out over time because I don't want you to start harassing people. But I have picked a couple of mods for my chat, okay, that are people that have been in the chat in the past. But I don't want to tell you who they are because I don't want people to give them a hard time. Chad, 25, is that Hong Kong dollars? Super chat, thank you. Love the show. Everyone thank Chad F. Young. Did you guys see my boat parade video yesterday? When I get off the air at 9, go check it out.
Oh man, I know they're all great. Yeah, I know. And by the way, when you use the promo code Kane at checkout, 40% off the MyPillow slippers, 30% off the
Best talk radio on the air today. No doubt about that, Joe.
pillows with it. So it's great. Well, that's awesome. Order your MyPillow My Slippers 40% off with the promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E at mypillow.com, or call 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane, K-A-N-E.
Just search for W.
All righty, we're back. You know, Black Lives Matter is about to go out of business, you know. They are having a lot of trouble. Well, they're getting a lot of negative publicity. There was one Black Lives Matter leader who is now out of a job. He was inappropriate with young people that are underage. Yeah, the co-founder of Black Lives Matter, you know, the one that had all the houses all over the place, the Marxist with all the homes. Yeah, well, got a clip of her. She's talking about Israel. Let me pull this up. This is the same lady with all the houses from Black Lives Matter. She's talking about Israel here.
Our generation in South Africa. And if we don't step up boldly and courageously to end the imperialist project that's called Israel, we're doomed.
Oh, wow. So she's calling for the end of Israel. And if you notice, there's a lot of negative stories coming out about Black Lives Matter. And I got a theory on it. I think the Democrats are trying to get rid of Black Lives Matter. Because Black Lives Matter thinks that the Democrat Party is not radical enough. You know?
Making what you're calling negative comments, a lot of them are former...
Yeah. Yeah, but some of the stuff's being these stories though are about Black Lives Matter. These negative stories are being reported in the mainstream media, and that and a lot of times what happens with these liberal activist groups is they feel too empowered and they start putting the screws to the Democrats. And I'll give you two examples in reverse. One, Occupy Wall Street. The Democrats and Obama loved Occupy Wall Street. Then they started pushing the Democrat Party around. They got rid of them. Cindy Sheehan was the textbook example of this. Cindy Sheehan, if you remember when Bush G.W. was, when G.W. Bush was president, she was the mother. She lost her son Casey in the Iraq War, and she was protesting all the Republicans and George W. Bush for months and months and months, maybe a year or two, and then Cindy Sheehan did something, and we never heard from her again. She called together a meeting of her followers and said, the reason the war's going on is we're protesting Republicans. They don't listen to us because we vote Democrat. We've got to protest Democrats. And Cindy Sheehan led a so Cindy Sheehan led a protest at Hillary Clinton's Senate office, because Hillary and Biden and others had voted in favor of the war in Iraq. The next day, she was done. Her cell phone... Yeah, I had Cindy Sheehan's cell phone number. We used to have her on the show all the time. They disconnected her cell phone. They cut off the money, everything, because she spoke... and that's where Black Lives Matter has gotten lately. Black Lives Matter has been pushing the Democrats around and attacking them, that they're not radical enough. And I think all this stuff coming out are the Democrats trying to pull a Cindy Sheehan with them. That's what it seems like to me, because this stuff doesn't make it in the mainstream. The mainstream media, when they report something negative about leftists, there's a more devious reason. Yeah, well, couldn't happen to a nicer group, okay? Black Lives Matter have caused so much trouble in the last year and a half in this country that it's nothing good has come out of them for a long time. Yeah. Oh yeah. And they're very empowered. Well, Biden's going to go talk about reparations today in Tulsa. I know. I know. You know,
Let me
yeah.
ask you a question. Can you figure out where Biden's support is coming from? If you look at the polls, and this is across the board, really, if you look at it, given the trouble he's in, given the mistakes he has made, given the fool that he has made of himself, a laughingstock, when you look at his poll numbers, they're unbelievable.
Well, because the polls are fake, Steve. The polls are fake. I've been telling you this for years.
It's so hard to believe.
They're fake.
What happened with the main election?
Yeah, the polls are fake. I haven't followed polls in years. You know, so you're a numbers guy with all your gambling stuff, so you like polls. But polls are all fake. I mean, Biden did a thing yesterday on Memorial Day online. There were less than 1,000 people watching it. Trump does something. There's thousands upon thousands, tens of thousands watching. He has less than 1,000. Biden, because these polls are all fake polls. That's just the way it is. You got to get used to it. But this Black Lives Matter leader, they're really going after her in the mainstream media. I noticed a lot of that over the weekend. In this new thing I have when she said about Israel, that was in 2015, and it just came out last night. This audio. That audio came out because the Democrats leaked it out. They want the Black Lives Matter group gone. They're causing Democrats, they're getting a lot of negative publicity. They're burning down cities and everything. And they're causing a lot of negative publicity for the Democrats.
Publicity.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Oh my goodness, no doubt about it. And this time next year, Black Lives Matter will be gone at the rate things are going right now.
So no, I mean we're coming.
No. Yeah.
It's just a question of how much worse it's going to get. Who's going to stop them?
Well, they're
Trump enters the scene on a level that gives him the authority to affect things. Who's going to stop the long hot summer?
Well, they cut off their funding. By the way, I was watching. Yeah.
Black Lives.
Yeah, Black Lives Matter gets their money from the Democrats.
They're already getting.
Yeah.
The group that they threw out. No, I don't. I don't know.
Now, are the Washington Redskins now officially without a name? The Redskins no longer officially exist, right? It's the football team. They haven't come up with a name yet. And that's a real thing. And I bring this up because I was watching something here on the Fox News website, okay? And there's a basketball team in Washington too, right? The Washington Wizards. Which is more, are they, that sounds pretty, if what Redskins is offensive, Wizards has got to be super offensive. Wizards, well, like the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan.
Okay, boy, your mind.
Yeah, and I know. I mean, how did that, unless it means like Merlin.
That's what they're talking.
Now, please. It means Merlin?
Wizards.
Harry Potter?
They are wizards with a basketball.
No, but Steve, it doesn't matter. It still brings back painful memories of wizards and the Ku Klux Klan, the Grand Wizard. We got to change that name too. So we got the Washington football team, the Washington basketball team, because when I hear wizards, I know that's got to be something terrible for black people to hear wizards being on. And then you got black men dribbling up and down the court with wizards on their shirts. Oh my goodness. I don't know. It seems very insensitive to me. I think something's got to be done about these people. They're so concerned about words, the liberals. They're overly concerned with their words. I don't know.
Overly concerned with our break here?
No, we got time. It's not time for a break yet. I'm watching the clock. I've got the clock. Don't worry. We got a few minutes away. We're a few minutes away from the break. Taking every break on time today. I'm starting the month off. I'm starting the month off right. No, but you know, this thing that's happening today with Biden in Tulsa. He's going to Tulsa for the Tulsa Race Massacre, and I got to tell you, I never heard of this Tulsa Race Massacre until recently. I know people act as if it's part of like big thing in American history. Have you ever really heard of this Tulsa Race Massacre before recent days?
Not a bit.
Not a bit. No. I mean, obviously it happened 100 years ago, but it was such a blip. I didn't hear about it till recently. Tulsa, Oklahoma. Yeah, the Tulsa Race Massacre.
I know there was some massacres in Florida.
The Tulsa Race Massacre, Memorial Day weekend, 1921, 100 years ago. The first time I heard about this was about a year ago. They started talking about it because I guess they wanted to stir people up for the 100th anniversary of this thing. But yeah, so Biden's going to go to Tulsa and talk about reparations and racial healing and the stain, you know. And I was talking earlier in the show to some callers about it. What happened in Tulsa, because I've read up on it, I know what happened there now, is a terrible thing that happened in Tulsa. But it was done by the local Democrats in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It was not, in fact, if you read, and you can just go on Wikipedia and read the history of this on Wikipedia. Oklahoma became a state like in the 1910s. It had only been a state a couple years when this happened. And the Republicans and the Republican president were fighting hard against these Democrats. The problem isn't the country. The problem, it's a stain on the Democrat Party. And every single one of these racial incidents involve Democrat. I bet you Derek Chauvin is a Democrat in the George Floyd case. Being a cop in Milwaukee, they're all Democrats in Milwaukee. You know what I mean? He's probably a Democrat. You know, nobody ever brought it up. If he was a Republican MAGA guy, I think we would have heard that. You know, most of these, all these racial things, like the one today, were brought to us by the Democrat Party. Good morning, you're on the radio.
Hello.
Yes, you're on the air.
Hey, this is Tom from Texas. Brian, on the Tulsa, I agree with you 100%. It seems that every time Democrats take something that happened, they put it on a spin that it is a Republican thing. They don't know their own history.
No, they do know their own history. They are rewriting. I'll give you an example. Last week, this got a lot of play. Biden said that George Floyd did more for civil rights than Martin Luther King. Why do you think, Tom, Biden said something so stupid?
He wants to change history.
No. In 1968, when Martin Luther King was killed, Joe Biden, who was he hanging around with?
Sure, Martin Luther.
No. He was hanging around, Biden, in 1968, Biden was hanging around white, racist, segregationists. That's how he made his way in the Senate. So when Martin Luther King was killed, Joe Biden and his friends thought that was not a bad thing, because he was causing them a lot of trouble. You know, so, and if you notice with Biden, like with the little girl, part of his cognitive decline is he's regressing back to his earlier periods in life, and that's why he thinks George Floyd is done. He thinks Martin Luther King didn't do anything good for civil rights, made things worse.
Well, and it fits right in with Kamala and her feelings. They're two peas in a pod. They both feel the same way about what has happened and what they want to see happen in this country. They continue to divide us. They have no sense of unification with the country.
Well, Kamala Harris only has one thing on her agenda. You know what that is?
Being president.
Yeah. All Kamala cares about, whatever job she's ever had, is getting to the next job. And there's only one left to get.
Well, we can only, Kamala get into the office.
Yeah.
Kamala could even function in the office?
Oh, yeah.
She could function, but she would have, I think she'd be worse. I think
before you say that, look what happened with her biggest assignment. She was so inept that when they tried to bury her down south of the border with
Yeah.
That's going on with the immigration.
Right.
She couldn't even show up.
Yeah.
Go up there, wave, and leave. She doesn't. I don't think she's. Yeah, and I don't think that she can handle it. I don't think she can.
She doesn't. Well, she really doesn't need to handle it because she's going to have enough of her little in-pocket cronies to do it for her. All she's going to have to do is sit on her throne and allow them to run it.
I think she'd be far more dangerous than Biden, because Biden's checked out. She'd be coherent, and she would have pressure to do things. No, she'd be the worst. Hey, listen, Tom, got to run for a break. We got a break. We'll be back with the Gold Report. Okay, right after this. Don't go anywhere.
AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Attention seniors, Debbie from I Will Advisors has launched I Will Advocates. I Will Advocates will make all of your doctor's appointments for you, handle your pharmacy issues, including refills, billing problems. They'll even make sure your prescriptions are filled. They'll review your doctor's bills to make sure they are correct. If you're in the hospital and you need an advocate to get the care you need, I Will Advocates, they'll do that too. They'll handle your Medicare and Medicaid applications. And that's just the beginning. They do a lot more too. Give Debbie and her team at I Will Advocates a call right
Oh no, so I was talking during the last break. I got a couple new mods. I'm not going to tell you who they are yet. You might see them. And it's not my wife. And the reason I'm not telling you who they are so you guys don't give them a hard time, because they're people from the chat. But my wife isn't usually up in time to be a mod in the chat room. So there have been some people appointed that position.
Gold Report, brought to you by William Youngerman of William Youngerman Inc. William, of course, one of the world's leading experts when it comes to precious metals. He's been advising clients on trends and movements in the gold, silver, platinum markets, all the markets, for over 50 years. He knows his stuff. Looking back on the 17 years that William has been on the Steve Kane Show, he has almost everything he has said has pretty much come true, just as he predicted it. And I hope you guys have been paying attention and making the money that you should make with one of the leading leaders in precious metals experts in the. William, how are you today? What does it look like?
Great, Steve. The metals look good. The market last week, as we saw gold close on Friday at Friday on $1,903.50, which was up $7.60 on Friday, after hitting a weekly high of $1,913 last week, which was a multi-month high. Silver also getting up to $28.32 last week, and then closing out the week at $27.93 the ounce. That was up 9 cents on Friday. Platinum closed out the week at $1,177, up $3, and palladium was up $22 at $2,728. This morning we've got gold higher at up $1.40 right now at $1,908.50 the ounce, while silver is up 35 cents at $28.40, and platinum is down $9 at $11.72. Palladium down $4 at $27.22. Any kind of drawback, any kind of pullbacks now towards the $1,900 number should be a good buying opportunity as gold tries to solidify its gains above the $1,900 number. So take advantage of any dip. Silver is building a base around the $28 number, and platinum is a bargain at any of these levels. That's pretty much where we are.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. William Youngerman is located right here in Boca Raton. The address, 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, just immediately east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. You can call 800-327-5010, 800-327-5010, and online, WilliamYoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk tomorrow. Okay, have a great day. Take care, take care. Did you see this Asian lady that got sucker punched in Chinatown? Every time I turn on anything, I see on TV, the internet, whatever, there's Stop Asian Hate, like this wave of Asian hate crimes. Every Asian hate crime I see on TV is committed by a black person. A black person clocked this Asian lady in Chinatown, and I mean, that's a terror. I haven't been in New York in a long, long time, and my daughter hasn't been to New York since she was a little girl, and I was thinking about going up to New York with her. I'm afraid to go.
Afraid? You're smart.
I mean, I think crime's worse there now than it was like back in the 70s.
Oh, there's no question of that. This is the worst, and how can I put this? This is the worst, and yet we haven't really seen the worst yet. What is it? The worst is yet to come. Yeah. And, with these incidents that are, one of the big things they're having a problem with in New York is that people are not afraid of the cops anymore. You're supposed to be afraid of the cops. That's right. No bail, no nothing. Yeah. With impunity.
Yeah.
And that's why nothing is going to make it better until Trump
comes back. Well, the New York City's reopening, and I know everyone's partying up there, because they're reopening. But in a lot of ways, New York City is a tourist economy. I think more than people realize, and I think a lot of people are like me. Go check the airfares to New York. It's like they're almost giving you the tickets. They're almost paying you to fly to New York now because so few people are flying north. You can fly so cheap right now. And the problem with the crime that's up there, it's random too. It's not like you can stay out of a certain area or something. You could be violently attacked no matter where you are at any particular time without any notice. And it's probably more dangerous to be walking in Manhattan during the day. These crimes happen during the day too, than walking down in Miami where they had that shooting over the weekend. I mean, it's really frightening.
Another thing, we have right up till recently been gloating about how great it is in Florida, and after this weekend, I don't know how great it is in South Florida.
Well, Miami.
I mean, South Florida, Miami, and bear in mind, even if that may be true for now, if it is in Miami and entrenched in Miami, like I'm hearing on the news, it won't be long before it spreads north.
Well, the problem... Yeah.
To Havana.
Well, these gangs are black. I mean, I was talking to someone earlier on the phone about this. I went down to South Beach about a year ago. It was during the pandemic. I'd not been down there in a while, and it's gangbanger time down there now. And it's back in the 80s and everything, you had like those Cuban drug dealing gangs, but they weren't out there randomly attacking people in the streets and in bars like this.
I don't want to depress anybody, but the gangs of Miami have nowhere to go but...
Yeah, well, thankfully, Hialeah is pretty far south in Dade County, where that shooting was, so they got to go pretty far north to get from Hialeah. But I got to go to Miami in a couple weeks with my wife for a doctor's appointment, and usually when we go down there, it's on a Friday, so we'll go do something after. Not this time. I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm going to get right off of I-95, go to the doctor, and get back on 95. I'm not going anywhere in Miami right now. And because it's run by Democrats down there, they're not going to do a damn thing about it. And if you...
Up until recently, they've done fairly well with the Dade County.
This has been brewing for a while. It really, and it's pretty brutal down there, and it's scary. And I'll tell you another thing: this twerking's got to stop. You go down in Dade County, every car's got some girl at the top doing the twerking, which is simulated sex. You know, I mean, you know, tourists don't like that, guys. They need to have a twerking ban down there, especially when people are in moving cars. I don't get the whole twerking, the twerking fascination down there. But no, it's dangerous. And this shooting that happened is getting a lot of publicity. And I know Florida, you know, we got this great governor and everything. You know, I'm interested to see how DeSantis handles this, because obviously he's not responsible for Miami. There's the county city government down there. But if he comes, watch what they do to him. If he comes out against it, watch them try to play the race card against DeSantis. They're so desperate to bring down DeSantis. Him standing up to the gangbangers of Miami will get him in some trouble with the media, but he'll handle them fine. Now let's take one quickie here. Be quick, caller. Quick. Hello? Yeah, you're on the air. Yeah, you got to be quick, though. Seconds to go.
Black man ticked off about this narrative that you're pushing, like black people are violent. Sir, this is not...
Well, I didn't say black people were violent, but the gangbangers that are shooting up parties in Miami are. You would agree? He doesn't doubt it, but he's not sure. I wish he'd have called earlier. Call back tomorrow, okay? Oh, and today's a big day because Richard Pearl's show, it actually started yesterday, but this is the first regular day because we're post-holiday. Richard Pearl moving to noontime on our radio station. Hey, Richard Pearl.
Hey, good morning. Well, it was fun doing yesterday's show. It was a very big day. It was Memorial Day, a day of remembrance. I talked a little about my father and his service to America during World War II, and other people as well. Today we're going to talk about corruption in the medical establishment. We're also going to talk further about something that I brought up years and months ago, in March of 2020, how this virus started in the Wuhan laboratory. Everybody poo-pooed it back then.
That's right.
They're dancing around the edges and they're saying, well, you know, it accidentally came out. It was deliberate. It wasn't accidental at all. And people have to stop lying and pretending to themselves that this was just an act of God.
Mm-hmm.
Foolishness or human, stupidity or whatever, or frailty or falseness. This was deliberate. And the sooner that we admit this, the sooner we can China properly. And of course, we're going to talk about Hunter Biden later too. There's all kinds of
Well, the big problem we have is that Biden is like an employee of China, and it makes it difficult for the United States to have a proper reaction when he's their employee. He gets a 1099. He's an independent contractor for China. Now listen, Richard Pearl's show, it's still on our radio stations, but he moved. He's now on at noontime, weekdays, on this radio station and all of our radio stations, Richard Pearl on Politics. His store, Simply Natural, is located in Sunrise, just north of Sunset Strip, east side of University, open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. till 9, and the number over there, 954-741-4045. All right, Richard Pearl will be tuned in at noontime. All right, we are out of time, Steve.
Day we will be back tomorrow, same time, same place, 6 a.m. And on behalf of our technical director Tyler Kane, Brian, the Steve Kane Show, and of course I'm yours truly, Steve Kane. Till tomorrow, so long.
You covered AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network, WWNN, Pompano Beach.
All right, and that's it. Hey guys, listen. Make sure you're subscribed. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. Click that notification bell. And also, everyone like the video. All right. Now, I got some messages today. People said they didn't get the notification this morning when I went live. Make sure and check that you're subscribed and you got the notification bell clicked. Then you get the notification. All right? Just hit 9 o'clock. We got to finish 10 seconds early, right before 9 for the station to take over with their ID. But thanks for watching, everyone. And don't forget, watch my Trump boat parade video from yesterday. All right? Take care, guys. I'll see ya. Thanks for watching.